Hello, everybody. Welcome to the very broken cameras of Minor Infractions Episode 5. Don't worry, I'm going to do a quick patch of those now. We are waiting on Nikhil. He said he was having some technical issues and would be on in a minute. So I'm not going to do like a full fix of the cameras because I just have to change it again in a second anyway. But I'm going to get everybody's faces at least roughly in frame. And then we will just vamp for a couple minutes as we wait for him. We have some scheduling things to talk about at the beginning of this episode, which will be, or will take a little bit of time. And then Jess has promised to discuss, well, we'll get there when we get there. Speaking of Jess, let me get, her camera in. There we go. Well, not there we go. What? You gonna work? Come on. Oh, apparently not. It's actually kind of great that I'm having to mess around with the cameras right now, though, because I'll go ahead and start off with an announcement that will be very exciting for longtime D&Dorks viewers. I finally have my PC. It took literally months and months to get it to me. I do have it. I'm not using it now because I picked it up an hour ago, but it is like in my apartment, in my living room over there. So the next time you see a D&Dorks episode, it will be with a system that works better and can do more interesting things. Which I actually just now realized this is like the halfway episode of Minor Infractions, so the second half will have better tech, which is very fitting. Going off of that, though, let's talk about scheduling stuff really quickly. Next week, we are going to be off. We're going to be taking a break week because Jake has his duties as a professional sandwich man. Actually, Jake, you want to go ahead and pitch what event you'll be at?
Yeah, so Indianapolis, next weekend, I will be randomly wandering around Indiana Comic Con on Friday night, and then Saturday I will be at Elfin Moon Game Store all day, doing some live D&D, doing a live roll for sandwich, hanging out, meeting people, and kicking off their grand opening of their store.
Fantastic. That is, I forget every time that you're doing like an event at a local store. That's very cool. So if you're in the Indianapolis area, go check that out. Like I said, we will be off next week. There will be no episode. We are going to have an episode the week after. That will be a one-shot thing. I'm not going to say exactly what, because I'm working out an agreement with some other people. We're going to try to work on something special for that. Jake is at another event that week, so again, I'll let Jake talk about that in a second, but we're going to do a special... Let me get actual dates up so I can give you more helpful information. Did I just hear Nikhil join? I think I did.
Yes, you did.
Awesome. While I'm thinking about it, March 22nd, there will not be an episode. March 29th, there will be a one-shot. April 5th, right now is a flex week. We're going to see exactly how scheduling breaks down. And then April 12th will definitely be the next episode of Minor Infractions. So a brief break from, like, the series, but not a break from D&Dorks entirely, just scheduling conflicts with the cast, etc., etc. You guys know how it is. I will revisit that again at the end, and, it'll be posted places. Let me, while I'm talking, get these cameras set up so that Nikhil is actually... Well, actually, Nikhil is visible because his right arm has replaced Jess.
Oh, man.
Okay. As I'm doing that, Jess, very quickly, because this will take me a second, do you want to pitch your vamping idea, and then if...
Oh, man. Yeah, so
Okay.
in case Nikhil took too long to get here, I told Matt that I could vamp because I went on a deep dive rabbit hole on Fortnite lore this week. Oh, man. Let me tell y'all, that shit's wild. Not only do they have a plot, but also all of the crossovers, all of the guest characters, that shit's canon.
Yep.
I ordered a comic book because I heard that there's a canon romance between a Fortnite character and a Marvel character.
Did you hear that from me? I feel like you almost certainly heard that from me.
I think
because I know
Are you the reason I've done this to myself?
For those of you who don't know, and I promise we'll talk about D&D, but this is very important for everybody to know. There is a comic called Marvel X Fortnite, maybe the other way around, but that's irrelevant. Marvel X Fortnite Zero War. It's in frame, technically. You won't be able to identify it, but it's literally the last book in frame. It's this one. It's weird.
Rip audio listeners.
Yeah, well, they don't know. They can Google it. It's... I'm just going to say this as bluntly as I possibly can because I think it deserves it. We don't care about language on the show anyway. Wolverine canonically fucks a Fortnite character in that book. Like, on panel. Not anything explicit. Right. Not anything explicit, but they do the classic, like, they're both laying in bed next to each other with exposed shoulders thing. Like, it is a weirdly horny book for a Marvel and Fortnite crossover. I think, Nikhil, you've read it, right?
No.
Okay, I think Panda's the one who's read it. It's weird, and Jess, I'm very excited to hear your thoughts on it, because it's a hell of a book. It's not awful.
Also ordered the DC Comics ones. Fun fact, if you buy them
that
new,
one's
you get
better.
Fortnite.
I've heard that the Batman and Fortnite comic is, like, unreasonably good for what it is. So
who does Batman sleep with?
I think Catwoman.
Banana.
So that one, like, the canon of that one is different. So, out of all of our viewers, who was excited to hear Fortnite lore on today's D&D stream? Now that we've made your day, okay, you know what, Mike? That's one. And if we've made one person happy, that's infinitely more than I thought we were going to. Jess, I do want to discuss Fortnite lore more with you, possibly in the after show, possibly later, depending on time. But yeah, it's weird. We'll discuss it more later. If you want to read Fortnite X Marvel Zero War, I can't legally stop you, audience, so do with that what you will.
If someone rolls a nat 1, we have to listen to 20 minutes of Fortnite lore every time.
I will do this right now. I will do. Nikhil, do not tempt the DM who has not had adequate time to prep for the session. I will do this right now. I could lie. I could just roll and then vamp and use this time. Okay, I'm doing this.
I'm ready. I took so many improv classes just to be able to do this.
It was a 7. And so for a half second in my mind, I thought it was a 1. But it was a 7. We're all safe. The episode will start now instead of after 20 to 25 minutes of Fortnite lore. And on that note,
it means you have to subscribe to the Patreon.
You do have to. We need to plug our Patreon more. I forget that we talk about the after show, but we don't talk about the Patreon enough. We have one of those for anyone who doesn't know. You get early access to the recorded episodes. You get them like three days early, I think. I'm not the one who uploads them, so I don't remember the exact upload date. But you get them several days early. You get after shows for each episode that we record after each episode. And then there's random other content on there. There's like some special things that Nathan and I have done. We did like a DM chat episode. There's some concept art for a previous series that's exclusive to there. I don't know if I'm technically supposed to say this yet, but screw it, I'm going to, because it's advertising for our Patreon. The campaign that we are doing over the summer, which has not been officially announced yet, is going to have like not canon required, but canon prequel episodes to it that are going to be Patreon exclusive. So if you want some extra content for that, those are not up yet because we haven't even announced the campaign, but they will be. So if you want to get on that early and see them as soon as they drop, subscribe to our Patreon and you'll get some exclusive stuff for that campaign. Now that I've plugged that and we can get some money, who wants to take the recap from the Ace Attorney episode, which I guess we can now retroactively call Werewolf Sniper Wizard Cowboy or whatever I said. I know it was those words. I don't remember if it was that order.
I feel like I don't think there were. I think I was the least directly involved, but if I'm remembering correctly, I don't think there are a ton of beats. It just got fucking crazy.
Yeah, it actually like I feel like I'm you know happy to take the recap for this one, especially because this is a fairly easy one. I think.
Honestly, I'm pretty sure that happened. How did it start? I always forget the beginnings.
I'm shocked that you, of all people, Nikhil, do not remember the beginning of last week's episode.
Valentine showed up. Pine was threatened, and so then she blew Valentine up. But turns out it wasn't Valentine, or we didn't know at the time. But there was no trace of Valentine, just a big hole in my office. And then we decided to go to Iggy's house. I don't remember if anything. Oh, there was a weird encounter with a straw doll that freaked out CL. It gave him bad vibes. And then we all went together to see the king. We had to wait for an hour, so we went to go find someone who knew about the mysterious black box that the king had given to Iggy beforehand. Someone did. They managed to charge it with lightning magic. We're pretty sure it's a phone. No, we do know. Shepard confirmed it's a phone. Shepard is trying to unlock it currently. We met with the king. Pine and Ratch tried our hardest to get the king to understand that Valentine sucked. We realized that Valentine has the ability to replicate themselves via straw dolls.
I'm going to interject. I'm going to give credit where credit is due. You had a little, like, improv Ace Attorney section that, Nikhil, you did ask, I would say, the key question on. So, little round of applause for Detective Ratch Hatchet doing detective things.
There you go. Thank you. We figured that out. Simultaneously, CL found the same thing out by realizing that he had been tricked into bringing one of those little straw dolls into the corridor, and also learned about the big bad plan, which is invading, the U.S. is invading the subterranean world, right? Someone can take this part.
The United States of America is in league with the royal government of the underground, because the royal government has been steadily losing power to all of the crime here, to the crime lords and everything. So they're in cahoots, where the U.S. will provide the royal government with power, and the royal government will provide the United States with resources from the underground.
Correct.
But,
Sinister
yeah,
diplomacy is going on.
there's that happening. CL was escorted away. We didn't actually tackle what had happened with that.
No,
They
that
were
was
just
a
escorted
cliffhanger at the end of last week.
away.
And we're not going to
Uh,
open with that either, so that'll be
the
a
rest
little bit
of
more
us-
ominous.
Continued to talk to Valentine. And at some point, Shepard just said, fuck it, and threw up an artificial moon and became a werewolf man.
That is true. I want to point out the funniness of the phrase werewolf man, which feels redundant, but that's fair.
I mean, if Marvel can call theirs werewolf by night,
You know what?
I can say werewolf man.
I'll give you that. I rescind my statement. It is also probably worth noting that the reason things escalated to that point is that Valentine clearly has some sort of, like, charming mind control, magic, whatever, that the king proved to be extremely vulnerable to. The king is vulnerable to that, and most, or possibly all, of the king's law enforcement is working with Valentine. So the situation very quickly went downhill for you guys,
Yeah.
and then
There
Shepard
was
turned
a-
into a werewolf.
There was a sad moment where we got Valentine to admit that they hated the king and that they were involved in criminal activity, and then we turned around to realize the king was asleep, and that was the saddest moment of
I
life.
personally loved that. That was one of my favorite bits, because I was like, is anyone gonna check? Is anyone gonna check? And no one checked. I liked last episode. It was a good like tight concept, but a lot of good things happened in it.
Yes.
And we're gonna
And a
pick
lot
off...
of bad things, presumably to CL.
Hey, technically, nothing bad has happened yet. We are going to pick off. Sorry, Freudian slip.
Pick off CL.
We are
We cut back. CL's dead.
Dude.
Mike is prepared a second
mean,
character.
I feel like is
If
that the
I-
first time that a recap moment is gonna have to go in the TikTok? I feel like that's a TikTok clip.
To be fair, since it became clear we were not going to follow up with CL, in my head, he's just been tied up to a chair, just being punched in the stomach by some guy. No apparent reason, no
See,
goal.
I could also pull my favorite, and I say I could. This is very well what might happen. I'm not going to spoil it yet, but I also could pull my favorite DM trick of CL just shows up. You know, with the party.
Hey guys.
It's fine. Everything's okay. But we'll get there when we get there. We are going to reopen, much like we did last week, immediately in the crisis moment that we ended on the cliffhanger for. So, Shepard's turned into a fucking werewolf in the middle of this courtroom. I will, before anything else happens, give the party members who are at least present a chance to do anything in response, whatever that may be. This could be a combat, it could not. You have like a few seconds, so you don't have a lot of time to debate it, but something has happened. What are you guys doing, if anything?
The layout of the room remind me. Valentine was sitting on the throne.
Yes. Was doing like the Loki sit on the throne. It is, the layout of the room in general is like fitting the aesthetics of this sort of faction. Very classic, very standard fantasy royal throne room. There's, you know, a big open area. There's the sort of, I think I was saying like pedestal last week. That's not the right word, but I don't know what the right word is for like that raised section where the thrones would be, you know, like a platform maybe. There's that, there's the guards, there's Valentine on the throne, there's the king standing next to it now. And then there are like some exit corridors back near the entrance. One of those is where CL went. Though, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure you guys did not see specifically where CL went.
No, we did not.
Yeah.
We didn't know he was gone until.
As a matter of fact, because CL is CL, he would have positioned himself so that he was the least likely to be seen by anyone.
Yeah, I figured that was the case. I just did want to double check. So that is the layout of the room.
Iggy is with him.
I would
though,
say
right?
it's possible that I saw, because I gave him the phone.
That is true.
Like,
But
the two of us were back.
but
I gave
CL
him the phone, and then he moved off from me,
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to give you this.
and I wasn't
Oh,
directly
yeah, true.
involved in the like.
Yeah.
part.
I will
That's
give you
true.
this.
Iggy
then.
would know.
No one saw CL get escorted away by Valentine. Valentine was smart enough to do that actively out of view. But if you, Iggy, want to make a perception check to see if you snuck, or if you saw where he snuck off to, you can do that. That said, in the spirit of fairness, Mike, if you said CL was actively trying to be hidden, you are going to have to roll a stealth check against Iggy.
Oh, fun fact. I've never built a character with them being good in mind till this campaign. I never played this game in a way where I would have a +9 to anything, but I do to stealth.
Oh, as you're rolling, people in chat have...
I rolled a 3 on the die! Let's
Hey!
go! That's doable. So you have to beat a 12.
Deus.
Like, Seal's being abducted. You're going to be sneaking while you're being abducted?
You have...
No,
He still doesn't want to be seen.
First off, for the record, people in chat, it was a dais? That's apparently how the word is pronounced. That's what the raised platform is called. I googled, if you heard a sound a second ago, that was me googling the pronunciation of the word. But yeah, this is, the checks that I basically just had them make are retroactive. That was to see if, because we didn't, exactly, unscripted show. So that was to see if Iggy saw where CL snuck off to in the first place. Like 15, 20 minutes prior.
Where Valentine met them. I get you.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is not where is CL right now. This is, for narrative purposes, do you guys have a lead or not?
You do not.
You do not.
Roll the stick.
A 6. Okay, unfortunate.
Also, housekeeping thing, because God knows I forgot. We leveled up again.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to say that.
we did? Oh,
Yes,
shit.
we did.
I don't think I
Hold
actually
on.
added... to be
Hold on.
fair, I have had a week. So that's a shout out to... Everyone say thank you... Well, the party members say thank you to Jake for asking. Because I was like, oh, yeah, sure. So...
Leveling up is my favorite thing.
Levels up, I have a positioning question I want to ask.
Go ahead, yeah.
All right, so we're like pretty close because we were up on the dais with Valentine Day.
Yeah.
Guys, like, we're pretty close to him there, right?
I would say that, like, you are definitely 6-7 feet away, just off the logic of, like, the guards that are there are not going to let you get right up next to the big boss, but relatively close, yeah.
If I did not want to be that close, could I just be sort of slowly backing away?
Yeah, if you, I mean,
I'm not a very close combat person.
oh yeah. If that's the kind of, if you want to, I guess I should rephrase. That is the closest that you can get. Pine being a ranged character, if you want to, like, preemptively be like, I'm standing at a distance where I can fight. Yeah, that's totally fine. Like, if this does become a full-on combat thing, which it very well may or may not, I will pull up a map for us. But I didn't want to set it up. Yeah,
Right next to the
I
big
got you.
bad, right before the big bad becomes very big and bad.
I got you.
I do have something I want to do as a reaction to this
Go for it. Well,
popping off.
pitch the idea, I guess.
Yes. Well, so I want to talk to Catsby within my coat. Say, yeah, I think things are about to pop off here. You should, stay close. I got you here. But if you could help me out again like you did before, and I'd like stick my sword in my coat.
Catsby kind of looks out, assesses the situation very quickly, and then looks at you and goes, yeah, I don't know how much you know about cats and dogs down here, but there's a big-ass dog in the middle of the room. I ain't going nowhere.
All right.
And you see, like, he kind of reaches out a paw, like, touching your blade. Not, like,
So
doing
he
anything yet,
is
but he
a
is
cat?
ready to.
He is a cat?
He
I
told
kinda
you
was
his
pictu-
name was Catsby.
Okay, there's a guy named Batsby. He's not a bat. All right.
Nikhil, he does wield a bat. You understand that, right?
So by
in
that
my
logic,
head-
Catsby should wield a cat.
Yeah, this.
In my
he kinda
head-
does. It's
In
a
my
cat.
head, he was like some black goo thingy, gold goo thingy that resembled kind of a cat.
Nikhil, this is episode 5. Are you just now realizing that the character with cat in his name, who I keep
I thought
actively
they
describing as
resembled
being
a cat.
a cat?
Not that they were actively a cat.
They are
I thought they were like some alien thingy
cat-shaped
that kind of
construct.
looked like a
Nikhil,
cat.
the end card of the show is a cat face.
Or is it a thing that resembles a cat face? That's the question.
It is a cat-like entity that it's not like Catsby does not seem to be organic, but apparently, since I need to make this clear, Catsby does resemble like a living cat statue, but looks like a cat.
I mean, in Nikhil's defense, flurkins are a thing, so.
Thank you.
I mean, I guess that's fair. Not in this setting.
Flurkins
I'm
aren't
waiting for
afraid of
someone to be like,
bugs.
Flurkins canon in the Minor Infractions universe? No, I don't want to get sued today. Thank you very much.
Yes, they are. I'm saying it right now as somebody with no power here. Sue us, Disney.
Everyone say Flakin as much as you can.
Specifically, send your lawsuits to Sir Superhero.
Hey.
He runs this account. That's true.
I don't. You guys have no idea how insanely close I have come every week to making explicitly Steamboat Willie a character. And like I get closer and closer every week. You just tick the scale 3 more notches in that direction. In
I
spirit
love
of
Steamboat Willie to be a character. Would he be a mouse?
Nick,
It'd be a mouse-like entity.
he would be. I believe that the specific wording I would need to use is like no. Mickey Mouse. This is. We need to get to the things that are happening. Mickey Mouse is explicitly referenced in Steamboat Willie. It is Mickey Mouse like in Steamboat Willie. That is allowed.
Right.
So yes, he's a mouse.
Okay.
Maybe I'll do that this episode. Screw it. But we have to get out of this room first. In the spirit of going around the room, as any sort of reaction to this, Ratch Hatchet, do you want to do anything as your like prep or determining thing here?
I don't think Ratch has got something in the equipment books for the werewolf man showing up. I think he's pretty set with. He's got his guns. That's as much as he could draw.
Hey, there are worse things in this scenario, I guess. Still one of my favorite weapons you've ever made. or any of my players have ever made. Anyway.
Hey, I made a spinning turtle of death. That's my favorite one.
Yeah, that also did happen. So with the player reaction sort of given priority for the sake of entertainment, now things are going to start happening for other characters. There is basically no gap, despite all the time we spent talking about it, between Shepard transforming and immediately just fully leaping towards the guards and therefore Valentine. However, the guards are, readied in front. It was kind of anticipated that this could go bad at any second, so they were ready for that. However, it does not look like they're going to be able to do too much. Shepard is very large. I believe I described him as like 8 or 9 feet in werewolf form last week. These guards are not lasting very long. You see one of them get picked up, thrown against the side of this wall. Actually, everyone give me what would be the best check for analyzing a fight? I guess insight would probably be that, but is there a better check that you could do for analyzing combat stuff?
Let's do insight. That's a good one.
I think insight is the right. I think insight is the right call. Everyone give me an insight check.
I got 13.
A 13.
Throwing this dice away. Got a 4.
A 4. What did you say, Jess?
A 16.
16. Okay, and I was about to ask CL. CL is otherwise occupied. A 16. Yeah. There's really only one thing that you can.
Repeatedly by Steamboat Willie.
Do not tempt me, Jake. I am so close to doing it. This is not something that is probably too much of a surprise, but it is very clear that all of the sort of more calculating aspects of Shepard's character fully out of the room at this point. There is no thought to sparing any of these people in any capacity. You can kind of tell that these guards in Shepard or Werewolf Shepard's mind at this point are not as much guards as they are things that are in the way of a target. However, Valentine also notices this very quickly. And you see, well, actually, let me give him a check for this. Why not? Just for fun. Oh, yeah. Very quickly and very sort of deftly, Valentine kind of reaches up and kind of backflips over the throne, trying to quickly escape to the back of the room. As they do this, he kind of sits on the top of the throne for a second, looks over the room, locks eyes with Iggy, Pine, and Hatchet, ignoring Shepard for this, goes, well, it seems that this is not a situation I can talk my way out of, so I think I'll just excuse myself. And starts going to the back of the room for reasons unknown. At this point, kind of on you guys what you want to do. If you want to get involved in this fight between Shepard and the guards for whatever reason, if you want to chase down Valentine, I think it's probably safe to say that at this point you guys have at least noticed CL's absence, if you want to investigate that. But once again, this is on you guys. I am, for what it's worth, keeping an unknown timer on my phone right now. You guys have to make a decision about which path you're pursuing. Go.
I think we need to kill Valentine right now.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Like to.
If they're running, they're afraid.
How far away would you say I am from Valentine?
I'll give you sort of the same as what I gave Jess earlier, which is probably the closest that you reasonably can get is 6 or 7 feet. So we did not determine a distance and positioning last episode. So I will say, if within 6 and 30 feet, you can kind of pick your positioning within that based on whatever Iggy's mood would have been given the situation. That said, there is now a werewolf actively in the middle of that as well.
Right. So you said that he backflipped over the throne?
Yeah, he was sitting on it, quickly snapped, or no, they were sitting on it, mixing up. King is still there. Valentine was sitting on it and kind of reached up, sat on the top of it for a second, did their little cocky exit line, and then left. If you want to do something as this is happening, yes, you can do that.
Yes. I would like to react the moment his feet hit the ground again.
Okay.
I would like to cast Earth Tremor
Ooh, okay.
Which causes a tremor in the ground within range. Each creature other than you in that area must make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, they take 1d6 bludgeoning damage and are knocked prone.
Okay. Now, this is an interesting thing. I don't know. This is an interesting enough idea. I'm going to do it. Give me a perception check to do that, because technically Valentine is going like behind something. So it's not going to be a super hard check, but if you want to get it like as their feet are hitting the ground.
It has a 10-foot, like it basically takes 10 feet of ground.
Okay.
Also, and turns it into difficult terrain.
Okay, gotcha.
So it would be the ground immediately around the throne. Okay,
cool. Yeah, actually,
that's gonna do it. That's a 19 on the die, so 21.
Oh, yeah. You are able to time this pretty exactly. You can get like the last Airbender Toph. You feel the feet hit the ground through, and then go for the. Okay, so you said that was a dexterity saving throw.
Yes.
And it's 10 feet. There would actually be other people within that range, but we'll get there when we get there. What was the dex save throw?
13.
Okay, now I have to do another check here. Everyone give me a perception check here.
Let's go. 16.
15.
13. Okay. Only Hatchet sees Valentine hit the ground, like falter for just a second as the ground shakes a little bit, and then kind of duck off into a side room, escaping successfully. I'll go ahead and say now that someone saw it, passing the saving throw. But Hatchet, you did see which direction they went. Now, I do have to make dex saves for anyone else who was in 10 feet of the throne, which I don't believe is any of you, or at least I'll assume that Iggy was smart enough to not cast the spell in a range where it would affect any teammates. But the king was right next to it. Let's see if the king falls. And if any... Oh, yeah, that's a 2 on the die. This incredibly old lizard just crumbles to the ground as the earth starts shaking. I don't know if anyone cares, but for note, that does happen.
Episode
So
title,
I have to
Iggy
roll
crushes the
d6
kid.
of damage for the king.
Oh, right, there is damage. Oh.
It's 1d6 damage.
Oh, that's not... Well, we don't know. You don't know how
Iggy
much
kills
health...
the king.
You don't know how much health this
kills the
very
king.
ancient...
Hopefully the king has more than 3 hit points.
Okay, yeah, the king is not
He has
the
4.
most durable.
And he's knocked prone.
Yeah, there's an old lizard crying on the ground now, but not dead.
Also, before we can fully say that Valentine has escaped, there's a thing I'd like to do as well. Just kind of
This is
as
a very
happening.
split-second thing, so yeah, go ahead.
I'd like to cast Sickening Radiance. I assume I can see past the throne, like above it, because that's where.
Like you'd want to do an
Valentine-
AoE spell behind so that it goes out in the
Yeah, and I'm trying not to hit my teammates. I do not care if I hit the king or the people in front of it. And Sickening Radiance.
Episode 5,
is...
Collateral Regicide. The badass
Look, this
name,
king
actually.
is not the one in charge. It's a DC 14 con save.
DC 14 con. Just for my note, give me the effect first, because I have a guess
if
from
they fail,
the name.
They take half damage. If they do get hit, they take 4d10 radiant damage, except for a
Jesus.
level of exhaustion, and they start to glow green.
That's a good spell. What level is that?
I just unlocked this.
So higher level than... Okay, yeah. A DC 14 con save, you said? Okay, I'm going to roll everybody at once. Well, that's ironic. So everyone within... Well, actually, I guess I should do that too. Okay, that's good at least. Everyone within range except Shepard and, weirdly, the king fails it. So the king is fine for reasons truly beyond me. But you...
I will also... Oh, go ahead. I'll say that the spell does last for a while, and if the king starts a turn there, he will be having to roll again.
Oh, we'll get there when we get there. Go ahead and roll damage on that then.
4d10. I'm just gonna do this on D&D Beyond. 'Cause I don't have 10 or 4d10 with
Yeah.
me.
That is fine.
That is 15 damage.
15 damage. And you said it was an exhaustion and glowing.
Yeah, level of exhaustion and glowing greens.
Okay, so we're going to retroactively change this a little bit. With that, all of you pretty clearly see Valentine, or the direction that Valentine goes. Still makes it out, but slower and glowing. So not too difficult to parse there. I assume everybody's going to go ahead and chase down that. Everyone make me a athletics or acrobatics check, whichever is higher, to get past the werewolf throwing people that is in the way of you pursuing this asshole.
That is an astounding 22 to acrobatics.
Oh, you bull charge right through a guy. Like, wait to acrobatics. Never mind.
Yeah.
You flavor it however the hell you want.
Raj is very good. He's a bouncy man.
There's
You would never have expected it.
that's foreshadowing actually, which is fun.
19 for Iggy.
31?
31?
31. I got a 2 and I've got a -1 because I have a character who has a cane and does not do the athletics because she's an old woman.
Okay,
So
yeah.
that's not a nat 1, but a
I was
dirty
like,
one.
how did the hobo with a cane get a 31? Yeah, so Iggy and Ratch, you are pretty deftly able to dodge past this. Thankfully, Pine, you did not get an actual nat 1, but yeah, you are much smaller than anything and everything happening on this base, so you're trying to get an opening, and there's stuff and werewolf paws and armor in your way wherever you are going.
Or I'm just gonna stay here and commit regicide.
Yeah, I guess actually, the king has to do that saving throw again.
Yeah, and he took half damage on passing it the first time.
Oh, so the king has now taken 10 damage. Okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna kill the king.
This
You
king is
guys
not
are
the one
gonna
in power.
murder the king.
The king actually once again passes this saving throw. I'm gonna have to come up with a lore explanation for that later, but actually, since the king is on the ground and all this is happening, the king kind of frantically looks around. Pine! Help me! Reaches out a shriveled little hand.
You know what? I will take a hand and pull him out.
Okay, you pull the king off of this active combat zone to safety. The king just kind of like sits there. I was gonna say panting. The lizards do that, gasping, whatever. And so, this has been like my least favorite day in the past 56 years.
You know, there's a lot of armor and claws flying. What say you and I just go the other direction?
Mm-hmm. And with that, you guys are exiting the throne room.
Yeah, just the other way.
All right, so we have a nice little shot
My
of the
king
two
now.
very old lizards kind of just hobbling their way out with a werewolf chunking guards in the background, which is an excellent little scene transition.
Shepard's still not very helpful.
Hmm?
Shepard's still not being very helpful.
I mean, to be
He's
fair,
now more of an obstacle than anything else.
yeah. I mean, the werewolf thing isn't necessarily meant to be the most helpful. It is a last resort. But with that, we will go ahead and transition over to... let's not do CL yet. Sorry to make Mike wait a little bit more. But we'll go ahead and do the chase
got
of
back.
Valentine first. Horrible timing. Both of you give me... okay, so we'll describe it first. You get over back to the back area of this throne room, and you see that there are a couple of tunnels that are well, not really tunnels, but like hallways that are going off. They are divided for note into like two sections. One of them seems to be a little bit nicer. Presumably that goes to like the king's quarters directly. The other ones are a lot worse, probably like servants' quarters, things that, so that things can be delivered directly to the throne easier and not have to go through the main throne room. Normally, this would be a roll to determine which way Valentine went. But Valentine is a glow stick at the moment. And so you do see a green aura just kind of cascading out of the servant tunnel entrance there. And I assume, just for the sake of convenience, that you are sprinting down that way.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Everyone give me a perception check first. Well, everyone being the two people that are chasing.
That is a 19.
Okay.
13.
19 and 13. Man, Hatchet is on it right now. Hatchet is
This is the
dedicated to this goal. As you are going down this tunnel, Hatchet, you see, kind of a little bit obscured by the passive glow that is just coming off of Valentine, a very slight glowing line of runes, seemingly that have just been placed there, some sort of magical spell that has been dropped, presumably by Valentine, in their escape down this hallway.
Okay. So it's just more trail?
Not trail, like it's a cross. It is perpendicular to the hallway.
Oh. Can I... They're runes? Can
Yeah.
I investigate the runes?
Yeah, you can give me an Arcana check, but I will also note, treat everything that is happening in this scene as like your target is also escaping. So you have, if you want to make an Arcana check, go for it.
Nah, I think it's much more reasonable that he probably just runs. He's following the aura.
Okay.
Alright.
All right. How do I want to check this? Are you? You know what? Give me a dexterity check with advantage if you want to not step on them.
Yes, I will try to avoid that.
And then, all right, yeah, give me that check first.
Dexterity, just general?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
a dexterity check is, or you know what, athletics or acrobatics is fair. That's my usual for this. We'll do that. That gives you a little bonus. And since you saw him, you do get advantage.
Well, one of them was an @1, so that's not what we want.
Glad I gave you the advantage.
The other one is a 10.
A 10? Yeah, I will actually still give you that. It's really just, can you step over something that is on the ground? So you are pretty easily able to not step on this thing.
Love it.
Iggy, give me a athletics or acrobatics without advantage, because Hatchet did not tell you that those were there.
Luckily, acrobatics is one of my best things, so
Yeah.
that's a 19 acrobatics.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh,
both
yeah.
of you are
Also,
able to
Matt-
clear this pretty easily. Yeah, what's up?
So if we were playing this out in combat,
Mhm.
or like in initiative, there's something I would have done, but because I'm not sure how.
Oh, yeah. This
You're
is
saying time is of the essence, correct?
time is of the essence. I am being forgiving with it because
Okay.
unscripted, but
Well,
loosely,
then-
yes.
Right. So I don't know how this would translate to us not being in combat, but
Mhm.
I'll let you decide.
Yeah.
But I would like to cast Expeditious Retreat on myself,
Okay.
which lets me
Yeah, let me
use my bonus action to cast to do a dash, basically, for as long as I concentrate on it.
Okay,
Basically, I'm moving faster than I would be normally.
yeah, for the sake of translating that out of combat, basically that just means you are moving at twice normal speed. You speed forced yourself, because if you're not using your bonus action for anything else, so I'm treating it as just you're moving twice as fast. So you are speed forcing along this tunnel at double normal speed, which is faster than Valentine's speed. So that's going to close the distance on this pretty quickly, actually. You do see rounding the you kind of round a corner in the tunnel, and the glow gets much brighter. I don't actually know how bright the glow on this spell is, but it's probably the only light in this tunnel. So you kind of see this glowing outline. Notably, I'll just add this for a little bit of flavor. The outline that you see glowing does not directly resemble Valentine in the sense that you have seen them before. This is probably not much of a surprise to anything, but Valentine does pretty constantly have some sort of charm, glamour effect on themselves that makes them look more normal. You see a far more shriveled looking being, much more resembling the creepy, gaunt scarecrow that is their inspiration. So you see this being booking it down the tunnel as fast as possible. They do turn around and see you, because you're not being stealthy and you're running at double speed, so I imagine that's certainly going to make some noise. So, what would be the best thing in this scenario? Make me a charisma saving throw.
Is it magical?
Yes, this is
The
a
effect.
magical effect. Also, Hatchet, you
Okay,
will
then I have
definitely get there in a
advantage.
second, but if Iggy's moving at double speed, we're going to have
Yeah,
him
I
get there
figured he
first.
left me
Yeah.
behind.
Yeah.
All right. So as a deep gnome, I have advantage against
Mhm.
magical effects that have to do with charisma. And what's this one? That one's not good. 19 plus whatever. 19.
What's the plus whatever? Just for my personal note.
Let me see. Yeah. Charisma is +0, so it's 19.
Okay, it is 19. Let me look
Yeah.
at the exact specifics of this thing. I wrote this ability myself, and I don't remember what the thing I put on it was. Okay, so you do see you don't see anything change for a second, but then you do see very quickly the figure of Valentine split off into 3 separate identical figures, all glowing. 2 of them run down side tunnels, and 1 of them continues forward.
Changelings in a trench coat.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Yeah, if you want to check or do some sort of check to figure something out, you can.
Uh,
Or if you just want to pick one and go for maximum speed, this is
So
your call.
How close was I to him when he split? Was I in melee range?
Not in melee range, but fairly close. I'll give you 20 feet.
Okay. I would like to so we're not in combat. Firebolt's a cantrip. Can I firebolt all 3 of them? Because it's 6 seconds is a round, right? So that
Yeah.
we're not in initiative. Seems like I could fire off 3 firebolts and see if one of them hits.
I will
think so.
I will say this much. 2 of them are going down side tunnels. 1 of them is going straight on. So I will treat the side ones as having cover. I'll say it that way because they are going actively behind something. But yeah, go for it. Firebolt off on all 3 of them.
Okay. So I should roll a hit for each individual one.
Firebolt is it's not a multi-shot spell, is it? I know there are. It's
No,
not
I'm
like.
just doing it 3 times.
Then yes,
Yeah.
roll separately for each one. I didn't remember if it
Okay.
was like Eldritch Blast where you could fire
Like
off
yeah,
multiple.
or
yeah.
yeah.
Magic Missile is I think what I'm thinking of. But
It's just a
regardless.
cantrip, and we're not
Yeah,
in
yeah,
initiative,
yeah.
so it seems like I should be able to do it fast.
yeah,
Okay.
3 of them is I'll
So-
give you reasonable. If you wanted to fire off like 10, I'd be like, yeah, but yeah, firing off just.
First one's 21 to hit.
Okay. I guess I should actually ask. I'll let you pick. So we'll say left, center, right. Which are you firing at which? Because that would actually change things.
I'm just gonna do them in order from left to right.
Left to right. Okay. So I
So
heard.
left was 21 to hit. It's actually 21 to hit as well.
Okay.
I rolled 2 16s, and then my third one is not quite as good. It's a 11 to hit
11 to hit
for the rightmost one.
for the rightmost one. Okay. So, Firebolt is. I'm assuming that the visual description of Firebolt is exactly what you think it is from the name. It's just like a little fire blast.
Yep.
How do I do? It's so fun playing like trickster characters, but also so hard to describe. Give me a perception check.
Mm-hmm. 14.
14. Okay. You actually see your firebolts kind of pop and explode in a little burst of fire on all 3 of them. However, with the 14, I will give you that you do notice more of like a stumble on the center one, but that also might just be because it is the one that is clearest in your line of view. But you do see like a reaction from all 3.
Okay. Well, I'll keep going towards the center one then.
All right, cool. You keep going towards the center one. At this point, Hatchet, you're going to round the corner. You see
Yay!
Iggy chasing after the little bit farther down figure of Valentine. For what it's worth, you actually don't see any of these other figures. You just see solid wall on both sides. There's not even side corridors.
Okay.
Oh.
I was really hoping that you would go for one of the side ones because you would have just run straight into a
super
stone
cool.
wall.
That's super cool.
I like that ability a lot. Valentine is cool. I mean, awful, but cool. Let's see. At this point, you did gain ground for doing that. I'm going to say at this point, Iggy, you are within melee range. If you want to do an attack, you're still going to have to roll for it, but you are within you are within the ability to do that at this point.
Okay, I would like to do that. I am to remind you, I have Catsby
You-
of 5
yes.
my swords.
Yes. Okay. Are you confirming you want Catsby to do the sword thingy?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I have so I just unlocked War Magic, which means I can do a cantrip and then attack with my bonus action
That's a neat spell.
with my sword. So I can do a spell and a swing with the sword. So that's what I'm gonna do. So
Okay.
I'm gonna do a point blank range fireball, or not fireball,
I
firebolt.
was about to say, if you were fireballing in the enclosed
No,
tunnel,
no.
that would have been
I didn't ask how big the room was.
blow up the tunnel in front. That'd be kind of, I mean, the shockwave. I digress. But
Yeah.
mhm.
So firebolt, and then a attack with the Catsby.
Go ahead for the
Catsby
sake
sword.
of Catsby abilities. Roll me both at once. We'll do all the totals and then I'll describe. And again, don't worry about bonuses. That is calculated on my end for this right now.
Okay. Ooh.
That sounded like a
I
good
don't-
ooh.
So I got a nat 20 on one of them.
That's certainly a good ooh. Which one? I
And,
guess. Yeah, because
I don't know. You told me to roll them both at the same time. I mean, I would prefer the sword probably as the nat 20.
okay, sure. We'll just take. Yeah.
The firebolt's a 16. So
Okay, so a 16 and then a nat 16 on the firebolt and then a nat 20 on the sword. Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I just want to make sure I'm getting straight. The last time you had Catsby enhance anything, it was knives, right? It was multiple.
no, it was my only. So all I have is
Or-
I
because it
have
was-
two. I have two long swords that are bonded to me
Mm-hmm.
that I can like summon to my hands. So it would be those same.
Okay, so
Same blades I
it's
use
the
last time.
dual longswords. Okay, cool. Let's see.
I'm just
how-
for this specific attack. I'm only using one of them because I'm doing a firebolt with the other hand. Can't attack with both,
yeah.
but
Okay, so you reach out. Actually, Are you casting the spell with your hand or with with the sword? This is purely a flavor thing. I'm just letting you know to describe the thing.
So because I can summon the blade to my hand,
Mm-hmm.
I would the other one would be like currently in its scabbard because it could be in my hand
Yeah.
at a thought. So yeah, one hand without a sword in it, doing the firebolt. The other hand with the Catsby sword.
Okay, so you throw the firebolt, which actually, right as it hits or is about to hit Valentine, you see a slight flicker of gold on the bolt, and in midair, it just moves like a foot to the side and rockets right by your target, missing entirely. This kind of catches Valentine off guard for a second, seeing the golden firebolt just sort of streak right by their face. And they turn around to see what happened. And as they do that, the firebolt, glowing more and more gold, reaches closer to the end of the tunnel, loops around, and as you move to strike with your sword, Catsby's gold extends over it, and you baseball bat the fireball directly into Valentine's face. This fully knocks them over completely. Roll me damage on all of those.
Amazing. All
Is Catsby just an excuse for me to do Toon Force D&D attacks? Who knows? I'm not going to confirm nor deny.
I'm not complaining.
I like them. I think they're neat. Jess, you are muted, by the way. Someone just mentioned that in chat. I don't know if you said something, but...
Oh, no, I'm just pogging at how cool that is, but I'm trying to stay muted so I don't interrupt.
Oh, yeah. Luckily,
All
this
right,
is
so
scene
the
is, I think,
firebolt-
safely almost over, so we can cut over to other
Firebolt
things.
is 13 fire damage.
Okay.
And then the sword, I have to switch to the other screen. Sword is...
Oh, I just want to note real quick.
The sword is a crit, right?
The sword is a crit. As you're rolling that, someone in chat said, I'm in a different time zone, and I believe I recognize the username. I think different country. Someone asked, did this start an hour early? Daylight savings time is a thing in the U.S., and that was since the last episode. So to any international viewers who got screwed over by that, sorry, we hate it here too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's an America thing, not an us thing.
Now, how do you want to do crits? Do I roll double the dice,
yeah,
or just roll and double it?
Double dice, I think, is
Double dice.
the way
Okay.
for, yeah.
In that case, it is 12 for the longsword hit.
Okay,
So 17 fire damage and 12 slashing.
17 fire, 12 slashing, so that's 29 total. Plus the damage that was taken beforehand, plus any Catsby things that you don't necessarily know the specifics of yet. So, with all of that combined, also just the way that the attack happened, Valentine is just flat out on their ass in the center of this tunnel at this point. You see them kind of moving around. They are not dead, but definitely stunned enough, just kind of there gasping on the ground. I assume that the glow is still there. I guess I should have asked it, how long does that glow last from that radiant spell? You are still muted.
Yeah.
I unmuted myself on the mic, which just double muted me.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's up to 10 minutes, not an hour.
Up to 10 minutes. Okay, so yeah, this is definitely still within glowing range. So you see this, like... what's that dude from Batman Beyond? The glowing green skeleton guy. Do you have any idea how little that narrows it down, dude? I think that's Batman Beyond. That's essentially what you are looking at in the center of this tunnel. Just kind of gasping, like, comedically large scorch mark in the center of the face. Hatchet, you also catch up at this point. There's no other people here, so this is combat over.
Finish them!
Matt, just in case, I would also like to mold earth underneath him and put him in a 5-foot hole.
That's smart.
Just to make it that much more difficult for him to get away.
That is smart. I'm gonna add a little bit of extra damage from just the 5-foot plunge onto your spine. Okay, that has been calculated. There's now a hole in the center of this tunnel that you guys are looking down into.
I'm gonna high five Iggy. First things first. Big fan.
Did
You
you
did good.
did you bring your handcuffs?
Sure. Yes, I did.
Oh, after you.
Is he? You put him in a hole? Does he go in the hole?
Gift wrapped. He's gift wrapped for you. There.
All right. I handcuff him.
All right. As Hatchet is handcuffing Valentine, Catsby kind of pops out at Iggy's coat and goes, "Nice hit on the fireball there, bud.
Thanks for the augmentations.
That's what I'm here for. Well, probably memory, complicated, all that, but I seem to be damn good at it." Valentine is still very, like, stunned with the wind pretty literally knocked out of them from fireball on the ground into stone floor, falling onto the ground into a stone floor a second time 3 seconds afterwards. So they're not speaking a lot at the moment. You can kind of tell by looking that they want to, but just do not have the lung capacity for it right now. You kind of hear, like, wheezes every couple of seconds. But that is where you are at. You're still in these servants' quarters. You can go back the way you came. You can go on and try to find another exit. You don't have, like, a map of this area, but it's not super complex. It's not a labyrinth.
I would like to, in addition to the handcuffing, I would like to gag him.
So that is smart.
I would like to ball up some cloth, stick it in his mouth, tie a cloth around his mouth so that he cannot, because his hands are bound.
Handle the spell
And
casting.
all of his stuff is charisma based, so I do not want him to be able to talk.
Handle their spell casting. Yes, that is a good call. All right. With that, I think it's finally time to cut over to CL. And now you guys will understand why I waited so long for CL, because I kind of needed to know how that interaction played out before we cut over to what was going on. So, we are going to flash back in time. I'm going to say hilariously, like, reasonably, how long do you think that interaction was in universe? Could not have been more than, like, 5 minutes at most, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
bad.
definitely nothing longer than that. So we are going to flash back 6-ish minutes, something like that, to Valentine leading CL away somewhere. Notably, the guard that went with you, the guard that you like tried to talk to in the beginning, CL, did go back. That guard is not with you at the No, that guard's not with you. That guard went back to the throne room. It would be suspicious if they just straight up left. So Valentine is leading you somewhere off in the castle. They are not speaking at the moment, but they do have like a hand on your shoulder, actively kind of guiding you along. If you would like to say something to them in this moment, you can, or you can just wait and see where you end up.
Wait and see. When we last left CL, he was just so crestfallen about the straw doll thing, because the way the straw doll worked was it cursed him to unwittingly put the straw doll in his bag, and he's so upset about being tricked, so he's not talking.
Yeah.
Take me wherever. I'm a sad man, right? Whatever you want about me.
Okay. Now, you still have the phone, correct? I don't believe that you ever handed that over to anyone. Iggy gave it to you, and you were showing it to the guard, but I don't think it ever actually left your possession.
I would believe so.
Yeah, I think that is correct. Maybe chat will yell at me that I'm forgetting something there, but I am fairly certain I'm right about that. So, this is going to be fun, because I have to plan this out knowing in my head that I have a 5-minute timer, but not being able to metagame at all with this character, not knowing that there's a 5-minute timer. The walk from where you started to where you are going is probably a good 2 minutes, as it is, off like high in a like tower of the castle here. So you are led out of the castle proper and into a side building that seems to be like the area where the diplomats, like offices are, sort of a government building, administrative, but fancier because it is, where the fancy rich people are. Some people greet Valentine when they walk in with you, and the second that they are in public, their demeanor, immediately changes. They're like, people greet them totally normally. There doesn't seem like there's any illicit activity going on. Valentine greets them all with a smile, introduces you as a business colleague that they're having a meeting with, and then ushers you both along before anything else can happen. You get inside of an office, a fancier office. Seems to be Valentine's office, though there's definitely something off about it, but I'll let you sort of check that in a second once you're going. Valentine sits down at this desk, gestures for you to take a seat across from them, and then kind of just looks at you, leans over and goes, Ciel Subeto. I've actually heard a bit about you. I don't believe we've had the fortune of working with each other much in the past, possibly a few contract jobs here and there, but you are a member of the organization, and a quite prolific one. Am I correct?
Yes, I'm afraid my preference was for more stable grounding in terms of employer. Your political exploits are, of course, very well advertised within our circles.
Of course, and I can't blame you for that. Obviously, some people are more suited to this type of work than others, but I do like your phrasing of stable grounding. I'm sure your well acquainted with the situation in Spondylix with the Royals and the Green Rock Gang and everybody else. I am trying to make a more stable future for us all, and you could be a part of that if you're interested.
Keep talking.
Oh, don't worry. It's very hard to get me to shut up in certain situations. I've been keeping an eye on your group for some time, and it seems like of them, you might be the most open to this sort of...
Oh shit, did Matt freeze?
I didn't freeze.
This sort of what?
I didn't
You
freeze.
didn't freeze?
I didn't freeze.
Is was that it? That's the end of the fucking
That's amazing.
so locked in. I figured we're gonna get a few.
I thought it was gonna take longer than 5 minutes to deal with this, but no. The fun thing about this is you are now in like a pretty good position to get some information, and you have no context for what the fuck is going on. I love people in chat are like, "What happened? I got you. I got you all."
See how like waves a hand in front of their face?
Nothing.
Questions for later, and start snooping around the room.
Okay, cool. Just go for it immediately. Give me an investigation check.
Hey, what is my investigation again? That's 19.
19. All right, you are able to find, with a good investigation check and also an understanding of how crime in this circle works, you're able to find a lot of, how do I phrase this? A lot of legal documentation that someone with your experience can definitely tell is, crime covered in, fair and legal agreements and jargon and all that stuff. There's plenty of things here which you could use for various reasons. However, you don't find anything that seems to be immediately relevant to the situation at hand. The invasion and surface world agreements that are going on. Invasion might be too strong a word, but you know what I mean. You do, however, find a safe that seems to have some sort of arcane lock on it. Valentine, probably unsurprisingly, is not the type to leave any really important secrets fully unguarded, especially when there are multiple copies of them running around. So there is some sort of arcane lock on where you can assume the most important things are. I'm so glad everyone in chat's saying they thought my computer froze. That means I did a good job.
You had me. I was... Could I make an Arcana check? I can intuit enough that, like, I can't literally use thieves' tools on this, but
I mean,
might
yeah,
as well
you
make an
can
Arcana
make
check.
an Arcana check for it. Go for it.
Yeah, no, that's a 3 on the die.
Yeah, it is magic that you are not familiar with. I will go ahead and give you, with the 3 on the die, I will confirm what you just said, which is you're not going to be able to crack this with simple thieves' tools. Not that you needed me to tell you that. I will also say, I did not mention this specifically, but I probably should, just for note. This safe is wall-mounted. This is not something that you can pick up and take. And in fact, I'll say that it's hidden. There is like a bookshelf that has a panel that slides aside, and there's the safe behind that.
That is a good
got a
question. Yeah, we got a raid.
Oh,
Hello.
did we get a raid? Also, by the way, I saw a bunch of people subscribing at the beginning. I don't think I shouted. Thank you for subbing, by the way. I was doing some back-end stuff and did not shout that out specifically, but I appreciate you. Infinite Monkey Tails. That's a good username. And Raiders. Welcome.
Welcome.
Hi.
I feel that is a pertinent question. How big is the building we're in currently? And are we in one room out of a whole building? Is this...
So this is like a very classic medieval castle situation. And with medieval castles, there's the big center building. That's like, I think the keep. That's the technical word for that. But then like within the walls of the castle, there's like stuff that's by the walls or built into it's one of those. It is part of the castle, but a standalone building that's like across a courtyard from it. And yes, you are in one. This is one room like a nicer room, a fancier one, but in a larger building that seems to have the like the diplomatic offices.
Okay, just because if it's a wall-mounted safe, then like there's something behind the wall, and we have lots of technology that has to do with burrowing and digging. There's definitely another way to get in the safe.
Yeah,
None of which we have now. So,
Nikhil,
can I find
thanks for the
anything on
Twitch sub. Continue.
I want to find dirt on the other crime lords.
Okay, sure.
I want,
and
if possible, what's his name? The leader of the whole shebang, of the whole Green Rock gang. Ozzy.
Once again, a kind of unintentional has-been hotel adjacent thing that I did, because then I watched Hell of a Boss, and there's a character named Ozzy in that. Accident. Whatever. But yes, so for my note, when you say dirt on them, do you mean dirt in the eyes of the public or dirt in the eyes of each other, if that makes sense? Like, are you looking for evidence of their crimes, or are you looking for, like, them playing against each other, that kind of thing?
Them playing against each other. We can prove they're crime lords beyond knowing their crimes. They're crime lords.
Yes.
We can turn the public against them.
Looking for that specifically, give me an investigation check again, because that is going to be something that's a little bit more hidden.
That's a... Let me be very... Yes, 16.
A 16? It is, again, buried in, like, a lot of legal nonsense. You can, at the very least, find things that might... How do I say this? You can find documentation of Valentine's actions that do not explicitly mention the other crime lords, and thinking about it, probably go against their workings. You do not find evidence of any crime, like, you'd say you don't find evidence of, like, Elgon acting against Ozzy or Clock acting against Elgon or anything like that. Whether that's because Valentine does not have that information, since it would not be something coming from them, or that is more valuable information that would be kept in the safe, you do not know. But you do not find any... You can find stuff from Valentine against others, but not the other way around.
Okay. In that case, I know you said there was nothing to do with the U.S. government.
Yeah, at least not outside of the safe. Which, again,
I think even though CL wasn't watching all the interactions, he, like many people, can intuit that Valentine had some kind of power or leverage over the king. So that would be the next thing I would try to seek out.
Okay, yeah. I will say... I won't even give you a roll for that. It does not necessarily seem as much like Valentine has some sort of, like, blackmail or leverage over the king. More that the king is just very old, very gullible, and very exploitable. And Valentine is intelligent enough in those sort of matters to make use of it. You can find, like, inconsistencies in the king's rulings and stuff. Like, I'll give you this as an example. There have been cases where, like, the king makes some sort of decree, and then Valentine kind of nobly takes it upon themselves to get the word out on things, and will, like, alter the wording and mess with things so that it plays out in their favor. Stuff like that, rather than there being some direct influence. Or direct blackmail.
I don't know why I expected this savvy political player to just have an envelope that's like, here's all the leverage things. Here's the evidence you would want to have. But it is frustrating to be in a very influential diplomat's office and not feel like I can... Obviously, the safe is important. But...
I will say you did get more, like, solid evidence of Valentine's crimes, and Valentine is also the one who is least, like, active in the public eye, is least criminally affiliated. So that is something. You have found information that is viable there. And again, if you want, like, more... I didn't give specifics just because no need to bog down with descriptions of things that aren't as but like cases
Yeah.
of like wording being altered from the king's decrees, things like that. You can find plenty of evidence of that kind of stuff, which is again notable.
Okay. All right.
And
That can.
I think this goes without saying, but just for the sake of saying it again, Valentine, though you know it to be a clone, has not moved at all during this whole process.
And so I picture with like an armful of like papers and documents. He goes back into the kitchen, sees Valentine still motionless, just fuck it, and pushes them to see what happens. Will they move?
Actually, I think we'll describe it like this. You push, and your hand just goes right through, touching the like straw doll that seems to be at the core of this thing, and just kind of shoving it like out of place. At which point the illusion dissipates.
Huh. Well, I'm not taking that fucking thing again. And Sia leaves.
Yeah. Okay. With that, then I think, bounce back to what Pine and the King were doing in this scenario, and then everybody can meet back up.
I've been left alone with a monarch again?
You hobble your way out of the throne room back into the main sort of entrance hall. I will say, left alone, probably not the case at the moment. The second the guards heard the commotion, so they were already like rushing in. And the second they see the king kind of hobbling out and see the fight going on in the background, you are immediately swarmed by various guards. They, all try to make sure the king is okay. He kind of waves around, I'm fine. And he just sort of sits there grumbling still.
So, Your Majesty, do you want to talk about it?
No.
Do you want to make everyone involved regret making this happen?
Maybe.
Everybody is playing what they think is a game, and you have the power to clear the board.
You see the king's face kind of slowly start to turn into a smile, much like a petulant child that has finally been offered something that they want. At which point, the king kind of draws himself up to his full height, or, full height with like a foot of hunch over, because super old. Turns to one of the guards, goes, "You, give me your sword." The guard, confused, kind of looks over at what seems to be a superior officer. Officer just kind of shrugs slightly and makes a gesture of like, yeah, give it to him. At which point, the king takes the sword. This is wild, but I do think it's probably the most in-character thing that could happen. And before you can really react, Pine, King Megaronides Albinius taps you on each shoulder with the sword.
What?
Okay, you're a knight now. I think that's how you do it. It's been a while.
Okay. Well, hell yeah. Thank you, King. Thank you, Your Majesty.
Oh, yes, it's fine. No problem. It's the least I can do.
Okay, I was not expecting that.
Okay, now go kill those guys.
All right.
You're a knight,
Yeah.
go do it. Take care of it. You, he points at the superior officer, carry me to bed. And then the officer kind of just like picks up the king with the help of another guy, and they start walking off, presumably to the king's quarters, wherever that is. Technically, Pine, you do have like a couple minutes before people regroup, so you can do something in that time if you would like, or we could just skip over to the regrouping, where everyone has quite a bit to inform each other on, I think.
I think Pine would be too stunned, because that's
Yeah.
not at all how I thought that was going to go.
No, but
I don't know what being a knight even means.
I don't think the king does either.
I think I'm going to ask the nearest person, the guard person, and be like, what does that mean? What does being a knight do?
The guard, who again is dressed in sort of like knight-like armor, but has never really been referred to actively as a knight, at least not in like canon, kind of shrugs. Well, ma'am, the last time I remember, my grandpa told me a story about someone he knew being knighted. I don't know if it's happened since then, so I have no idea, ma'am, sir.
So you're not a knight?
No, not like official. Sometimes people call us that because of the armor, but we're like guardsmen. That's kind of different.
Does this make me your boss?
I don't.
You want to get paid really well?
No. Yeah. Yes.
Cool. You go find whoever you can that can document this. Make sure it's on paper. And yeah, let's get everybody raises and shift some loyalty in this castle away from some tricksters.
As I think any reasonable person would in the situation, this random dude seems very confused and not like he's going to go along with this. And then you're like, let's get everyone a raise. And very quickly he's like, okay. So he goes, yes, sir, ma'am. Pine
Either works because
Knight.
it's a title of honor.
I'll go and handle that right away. And then just kind of, you see him rush off and like go in one direction and then pause and then go in the opposite direction. Like, this dude has no idea what he's doing, but he's going to do his damn best.
All right.
Can I ask a question just about general stuff
No.
in this world? I have a question though. I want to ask
Sure,
it.
Sure. I feel like this is not a question I'm going to have a ready answer for.
What is Valentine's career?
Hmm?
Like, he's diplomat? Are there many people who have Valentine's job?
There are other people.
Is he
at
the
the
one
same-
diplomat?
There are other people at the same rank, yes. Just kind of like a high up, diplomat, sort of quote unquote like cabinet member, that kind of just very
not
sort of
knights.
nebulous. No, not a knight.
Okay.
Like a nobleman. I avoid the phrase because I kind of want to intentionally have it be like not directly part of that royal structure, since it is kind of the new thing that is taking over. But in like hierarchy status, it would be like a nobleman. And with that, everybody I think is going to regroup. However, there is one more thing that needs to be handled. That is going to be handled off screen, however, because at the moment, no one is actively in the throne room. And that means no one is going to know exactly what happens to Shepard.
Oh,
If he
right.
rolls here. If I can stop rolling it off the table. Okay, let's see. Yeah. Would anyone... Pine, give me a perception check. I think you would be the only person within, like, maybe earshot of this to know.
That's an 8 plus, I believe, 2. But let me double check. Chat open. Yeah, that's a 10.
Okay. You are paying attention to this situation enough to know that, like, there was commotion, and at some point the commotion stops. But the weirdness of you getting knighted out of nowhere is distracting enough that you are not able to tell the specifics of what happens. Back in the throne room, though, Iggy, Ratch, and the captive Valentine, you all exit out of the tunnel there. Pine, you are out in the main room. The door, I would assume, is open, so you can see this happening. CL, technically I have not confirmed with you where you are going, but I assume with information in hand you are heading back. If you want to go somewhere else, that is your call.
No, I'd go back to the throne room.
All right. So you all make it back to the throne room. It is in quite a bit of chaos. Shepard is nowhere to be found, though where he exactly has gone, you are not sure. There are werewolf scratch marks and, like, marks on the walls. There are guards running around in dented armor from that combat. Everyone is freaking out. This is the most exciting thing that has happened in this castle in decades. So, in the commotion, you are all able to reunite with each other in the throne room.
Why are they alive?
Why are they alive?
Actually, I've just been knighted, and the king did order me to go kill those guys, which I believe includes Valentine. So if nobody has any objection, I am going to lightning bolt through their skull.
I am against murdering the defenseless. But if it's the king's order, then that's the law. So
Mm-hmm. Iggy, do you have any objection?
Objection!
I don't know. It's not the decision for me to make.
Because, like, most of the knights in this castle are loyal to Valentine, and leaving Valentine alive...
I think what the king says is law, and if he told you to kill those guys, and then Ratch just kind of just gestures, smiling at Valentine.
Yeah, then I guess I just cast my strongest spell on Valentine.
I'm imagining
Another
everything
lightning bolt?
else in this
Try it
room.
again.
There's people running around everywhere, and then just out of nowhere, explosion in the back corner.
I picture
I mean,
Pine
it's a
hemming and
lightning
hawing while summoning, while like energy is building up around her finger. Like, oh man.
Bye bye,
Yeah.
Valentine.
I think I just, point the cane and lightning bolt. It's a dex save of DC 14.
He's tied up, correct? Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna. They're tied up. I'm not gonna even have them bother.
Bye, Valentine. It's been
Technically,
fun,
damage
bud.
needs to be rolled, but like 40 damage has already been taken, and this is a charisma spellcaster, so. This is
Yeah, that's 28 damage.
28 damage. Here's the thing. I don't have the health immediately pulled up. It's on one of my tabs, but I can safely assume, I think, that if this spell does not kill him, you're just gonna do it again. So for the sake
That's
of
true.
everyone's convenience, yeah, there is a hush that falls over this room after the very loud explosion and flash of light that just full-on obliterates this glowing skeletal man. Now, interestingly, they were not in their like more natural, well, not natural, that's definitely, they were not in their more common form when this happened. So I don't, okay, I'm gonna have some...
No one bats an eye as we
Well, no. What
execute
I'm actually
someone in
doing
the
also
throne
is
room.
I'm seeing
Under the
if
king.
the guards that are running around care about this person that they've not seen before, which I did establish. And between the
Roll a
glowing...
history check to see if any of the guards have a really deep and personal connection with Valentine. They would know his true form.
Oh, I don't even have to do that. That's definitely a no. The
Nobody
fact
does.
that Valentine kept all their cards so close to their chest is going to actively work against them at this point. I do not think that any of the guards in that room, based on the precedent I have set, would have noticed you escorting them out. They do notice the fact that you did just kill someone. That's noticeable, but they do not know who. So yeah, immediately a bunch of guards rush over, weapons drawn, probably not, like just not like at you specifically, more at like somebody just died. So yeah, you are now surrounded with armed guards as you stand by the like smoking feet of this scarecrow you just obliterated.
I'm a knight. This was the king's order. Nothing to see here.
They all look confused. Did you say that you were knighted to... Did you inform the rest of the party of that yet?
No, not yet, I don't think.
No, you
Fine.
just said it was the king's order.
Yeah. That's the first time everyone's hearing this.
Why is it that every time we're separated for 5 minutes, you keep doing all these political bullshit? How do you do this?
Now, like, why are you gaming, man? Come on.
CL is like laying on his stomach to grip this 4-foot kobold woman by the lapels and say, "How does this keep happening?"
Ratch is gonna address the whole crowd and just be like, "Gentlemen, as you can hear, this is an official night. All of you are just pretending to be knights wearing their outfits. I am a lawmaker. I can verify that they'd never lie. And this is the king's order. So if you do not lower your weapons, you are acting against the king, and this knight is going to order your death as well."
For what it's worth, nobody believes you, but then the commanding officer who was present for your knighthood does return, having heard the explosion, rushes back in and kind of quickly confirms with the rest of the guards that as absolutely batshit insane as it may be, this little kobold is actually telling the truth. So you are free to go after just murdering somebody in the middle of the king's throne room. Very important person in the king's throne room. I'm not going to say that won't have repercussions later. It definitely will, but you are free to go as of right now.
I think this is our new
Where's
base
our
of operation.
reputation with that faction stand now?
I mean, you killed a faction pretty much, so that's something. This is a great time for a bathroom break. I think we are at like almost exactly an hour and a half, which is awesome. I think everyone could probably benefit from like 5 minutes of figuring out where everyone wants to go next. That was a good first half of the episode, so I'm happy with this one so far. I hope that you all in the audience are enjoying it as well. We will be back in a couple of minutes. I have no idea where this one's gonna go, but it'll be entertaining regardless. I was muted for that whole interaction. That's fine. My Discord crashed while I was off screen. I was just making sure that the cameras didn't freeze, and they did. I'll fix it in a second. We're still on break. Don't worry about it. That was just a tech error thing. Okay, time for the real Matt chat. We didn't do one last week because I was having a discussion with the cast members during the break, but now I'll do it. Again, if you were not here like a minute ago and saw my camera turn on, I was checking a tech error. That was not the actual Matt chat. How's everybody doing today? Enjoying the murder episode? My computer's not plugged in. I need to fix that. Not that I'll have to worry about it soon, because I don't know if anyone was here at the or for anyone who was not here at the beginning. I got my PC finally. It's not set up because I picked it up an hour before the show, but it will be set up by the next episode, so that's exciting. I see Jess typing in the chat 2 seconds after I see her walk by the camera. I forgot about daylight saving, so I missed the first hour. Yeah, sorry about that. If I had thought about it more, I should have done an announcement for our international viewers. Not too... Well, no. Some things did happen in the first hour. But, yeah, sorry about that. Daylight savings is bad. Does anyone else have problems loading the website? D&Dorks.com, the website. So, because it's a link, you have to, like... There's a weird thing where you have to like type it into the browser. It doesn't work as well for links. Since I have my PC, like I'm going to be doing more professional D&Dorks work over the next 2 weeks or so. So the website will hopefully become a real website and not just a landing page soon, and that will fix issues. Yeah, I can see you, Jess. I can also hear you. Sorry, Jess is talking in the... No. I can do 2 streams of consciousness. I can do 2 streams of consciousness very easily. I'm talking to the cast and the audience at the same time. Look, you guys don't understand how much I talk to myself in my daily life. It's easy. It's probably more confusing for the audience who can only hear me referring to the audience. For the sake of the audience, I'm gonna end this Matt chat here. I can keep focused. It's fairly easy. No. I'm literally talking, Nikhil. I turn on my mic while the Be Right Back screen is on, and I talk to the audience during the break sometimes. I'm blowing Nikhil's mind right now, guys. This one is going to be unlistenable in the VODs. Yeah, but mine's going to be delayed. I mean, I could... Hey, well... Yeah, I can hear you. It's going to come in a couple seconds late, but I can definitely hear you, Nikhil. To the person who just asked, does this mean regular streams are coming back? Because I can talk to both at once. Yes, I don't know exactly how long setting up my PC is going to go, and I have some other things that need to be dealt with first, but they will be coming back soon-ish. Yes, I also am... Chat can hear me. Chat cannot hear the cast. I am talking to both at once. All right, everyone's back, so we're going to go back to normal cameras in a second. Thanks for listening to the Matt Chat. There we go. Oh, look, the cameras fix themselves automatically. Except for Nikhil's, which is inexplicably still frozen. Everyone else's is fine, except Nikhil's. Let me reset that. No, not on your end. On my you wouldn't hurt. My Discord crashed, like, the second we went to break. And I have to fix some of the...
I heard what happened.
Why
I saw you leave and come back and leave again.
Why is only Nikhil's broken? Hold on.
I don't know, Matt. Why do you hate me?
Well, you know.
Why have you rigged your OBS to fucking poison my my feed.
I shouldn't necessarily say this yet because I have no idea if this is going to get greenlit by the company, but I'm about to put a direct call-out post for Nikhil in a sponsored video in like a week or two because I thought of a good line that I can do to mess with him.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
Don't,
What is this?
Don't worry
All right,
about
hold
it.
on.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
What do you mean a call out line?
We have to see. We have to
How are
see
you calling me out?
if the sponsor of the video greenlights it. I don't know, but there will be. Nikhil,
Maybe
when you
don't
see,
call me out
when
for
you
money.
see when you
If you're gonna
see
call me out for money, give
it's
me some money.
It's funny. It's
We
funny.
should
When you
actually-
see a sponsored video, actually, this will be great promo for me, guys. When you see a sponsored video coming in the next couple of weeks, there actually should be multiple, but one of them will have a reference to my good friend Nikhil Clayton in it, so you have to watch the whole thing for that, and then I get more ad revenue probably. I don't know.
If you're stealing one of my jokes, I'm gonna charge you royalties.
I'm not stealing one of your jokes. I'm not going to tell you
Now
what it
what's
is.
happening? How am I involved in a promotion?
Look, right now you're not involved in anything. I'm actively trying to fix your camera because to peel back the curtain on how my stream setup works, everyone's cameras are literally just the same source cropped differently to everyone's faces. I don't know why only Nikhil's broke. It's literally 4 identical copies of the same thing, but only Nikhil's isn't working now.
Well, I assume I'm not working on any of the crops.
Fixed.
Then.
Oh, wait. What? Wait, what is
Hey,
this?
yo.
Why are there 2 of you?
Yo. Two me's.
Oh wait,
too
no.
many.
That's oh my god. We'll
Now
have
the
to
whole
edit this out
overlay
as
is
well.
moving.
Fun fact,
I'm gonna go over here.
that's not Nikhil's camera. That is Jess's camera. That is not cropped on that side because it's layered under Nikhil's. Can I?
Is that why whenever
Let's
Nikhil
go.
leaves, I turn into
Yes.
Nikhil?
I
It's 'cause-
could just do the lazy way out and just make your source really big and just have it be really tight up on both of your faces.
Just real
And then
close.
Share the source.
Giant Jess.
You know what's funny is I got
won't do
myself
this.
like for
I'll
these streams
figure it
I put
out.
up such a nice camera and I like plug it into my computer so I have high definition for our Skype calls and then on the Twitch it's always like 2 pixels.
For viewers who weren't here at the beginning, tune in 2 weeks, approximately 2 weeks, for the debut of PC,
Yeah!
and hopefully a dramatic cut down on shenanigans like this.
Yeah, it's gonna be so much better.
Oh no, new
but one
computers
more
make
for the road.
everything worse.
That's why I have
Could be
2 weeks.
so many
I'm gonna set it up
shenanigans.
this weekend, and I have 2 weeks to get it fixed. Okay, I'm trying to fix. And now, no, there it is. Okay, there's our camera setup. If anyone was curious what that looked like.
Oh shit. Look
Uh,
at that. Why don't you just do this?
huh? No, well that is what I do. That is what I do. I just do that. I put it behind the overlay, and then I crop it
I'm in 2 places.
so that we are in our frames. That's always been what it is.
Why don't you just match the frames around the actual image instead of
Uh,
cropping the image 5 times?
I mean, because then I also have to fit everybody's names and character names and everything. Anyway, we fixed it. Well, I should maybe... Jess, do you want to remain huge, or should I make you normal sized
I
again?
would like to be a giant woman.
Okay,
no,
all
make
right.
me normal size.
Okay, normal size Jess, and then we can continue. Hopefully those
That's
shenanigans...
the entire arc of Steven Universe episode in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully in that time we spent screwing around with the cameras, you guys came up with some level of plan as to what needs to happen next. One of the main villains is now gone, just eliminated pretty handily. You are free to leave.
I kept expecting a twist of some sort, and that Valentine would not actually be dead. But now that he is dead, I don't know what to do.
Are we still in?
well, who knows? This is the trickster villain. I would assume to answer what I think Mike's question is going to be. You can leave the throne room freely. If you want to time skip somewhere else, you can. But for right now, I'm treating you if you're still in the throne room in case there's anything you want to do there. But you can go where you like at this point.
I mean, I think we need a new
You
base
know-
of operations, right?
You did blow up my wall, so
For what it's
Yeah.
worth, there also probably is
surely-
like some damage to the wall of the throne room. I believe, Pine, you did cast lightning bolts and not just like a... Yeah.
I did.
This is a stone wall, so it's not obliterated, but like it's cracked.
it's fine.
I worry about base of operations and privacy because I have a matter that would be discussed in private, something pertaining to the royal government and our friend Shepard's place of origin.
Oh, I see.
I mean, Pine, you're a knight. Can you just order everyone to leave?
I could probably just order us a new office. Hey, do we have? Are there empty spaces here? Could we requisition a new office for the royal investigator?
And there's that room with the bong. At least.
One of the guards is just like, oh, I don't know if what? There's no bong in there.
There's not anymore.
What?
We'll
Why
get
would-
you a better one.
There's-
Don't worry about it.
Hold on, did
No
someone break
drugs.
the?
I
Valentine
broke
did.
it. I broke
Damn it.
your drug device.
You ask the guards if there is a room or a vacant space that you can use, and yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty believable that there would be. The whole point of this kingdom is that the royals aren't doing super hot. I would think, funny enough, it would be. Let's say if I'm assuming that you're going to be taken to this place directly. Just for note, though this only really matters to CL, we'll say it's in the building next to the building where Valentine's office was. This building...
Wait, Valentine's office is now vacant. Why don't we just take that?
I mean,
I was gonna say before we leave the castle, we should see if maybe Valentine. I mean, Catsby. I don't know if you can like feel if any of your bits are nearby or anything like that, but
We.
we should
There
check
is
it
a
out.
safe in the office
Hmm.
with an arcane lock.
Wait. Ratch wants the corpse
of Valentine?
of Valentine. Whatever's left.
You actively blew it up. There is no
There's
corpse.
gonna be something. Come on.
You
Is it
fight-
evaporated?
What happened? This corpse had already been through the ringer, and Pine, I imagine from like a foot away, fired a full-on lightning bolt directly at it. It is.
Those evaporate people. The Chartist people.
I mean, also we're noting. Remember, not human. Not direct.
Fine.
There is. You can maybe pick up some corpse remnants. You
Fine.
can
I'll
scrape
just
some
do my
blood
cool
off the wall.
corpse thing for someone else. Fine, Matt.
This is the new I take the
Jeez.
bones. That's a deep cut D&Dorks reference. If anyone in chat gets that, I'll be proud of you. But
Okay, so
I'm gonna cut in. Since it's been brought up, I do need to know: is anyone taking corpse remnants?
I'll take corpse remnants. Yes.
Okay, you scrape a bit of gunk.
This is my greatest enemy, and he's been destroyed by two-handed people I just met.
Yeah, you are able to scrape some of the corpse bits into a I don't know.
I love
Ziploc
the
bag.
term scrape. I like the idea of Ratch just like on his knees, just like. Joe,
Just
figure this
get
out.
some of that in there. Okay, you have that. Put that in your inventory.
Sticky
You
vomits.
awful man. And then, how are you going about asking for Valentine's office?
I know where the office is. I can just take them there.
Yeah, I
Okay,
feel like we
you're
just
just-
don't
you're
ask.
just going?
We just go.
Okay.
We asked
It's
for
not
an
like
empty
she's gonna be
space.
in it.
Yeah, we asked for an empty space, and then we go to an empty space.
Okay, sure. You go over to this this place. You go over to the diplomat's office.
I want to be vigilant for traps.
Vigilant for traps. Noted. Okay.
Ah.
Actually, you know what? Just give me a perception check in advance.
I will also make a perception check.
I want to make one. I like to do
I
things
don't
when people do
see
things.
it.
Neither does Ratch.
got-
She's got an 11.
I got a dirty 20.
Ooh.
Fitting, since you were the one that has been to this office before. Pine, if you rolled, I did not hear the number.
A 19.
A 19. Okay, so 19 and 20 are the good rolls. Now, again, I did have you do this in
Iggy would
advance.
normally be vigilant, but he is
Yeah.
still retching from watching Ratch scrape corpse bits off of the floor. to
Rat-
really be able to pay attention.
Ratch is also like sort of zoned out currently. Is how I'm explaining 11.
Just dead-eyed stare Minotaur.
Man's
scraping
whole
guts
purpose has
into
just
a
been
bag.
absolutely gone zoned. He's grasping at straws here.
What a day. Okay, I should note real quick, I did have you make these perception checks in advance for any traps that you may run into, so none of you see anything yet, but I have that noted for if it comes up. You all follow CL into this office building. There are some people running around. None of them really seem to pay you much mind. Like even worst case, if anybody does, CL was just here with Valentine, so there's not like... If there's like a receptionist whose job is to watch over stuff or a security guard or anything, there is reason. They saw you show up, they saw you leave, they saw you come back all within the span of a couple minutes. That's not that odd. So you are able to make it into this office, which does not have the Valentine clone in it anymore. As I said, that dissipated. The straw doll is still on the ground. It's still just kind of there from where CL unintentionally shoved it. But otherwise... Well, not even otherwise. Everything is just as you left it.
I'm actually, CL is going to go to Iggy and ask, could you check that magically, energy-wise? You can't be too vigilant.
Yeah. I'll check it out. I assume Arcana check.
Arcana check, or whatever
Yeah.
other check you want to make, but probably that one would be the best.
Ooh. That is a 21.
Oh, excellent. This thing is definitely still magical. Looking at it, you can definitely see that it is, you can trace the spell signatures to the type of thing that you know it does pretty easily, even if it's not a spell that you're super familiar with, like the schools of magic and similar spells. Since you got a very high roll, I will also give you that while this does seem to still be some sort of magical artifact for sure, this is a D&D like mechanics word that I'm not sure I'm 100% using correctly, but you'll know what I mean. It does now seem to be unattuned. Whatever was controlling this is no longer active, but it is still a magical item.
Mm-hmm.
No longer connected to Valentine.
To attune to it?
Hmm?
Can I attempt to attune to it?
You can give me another Arcana check to actively try. It will not be an easy one, but kind of much like the mining helmet. If you want, you can take this and try to mess with it. There may be, that's your call.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you can give me an Arcana check if you wanna try it.
That one's not quite as high. That one's a 13.
Yeah. Kind of just what I just said. You can, if you want to take it and keep messing around with it as things go, ask people, try other checks in the future, you are more than welcome to do that, but you do not know how to link yourself or access its power right now.
Right. CL, I can't open it here, but if we take it with us, we might be able to crack it open later.
And there's no connection with Valentine anymore?
It seems to be inert at this point.
Okay. Because at this point, Valentine is dead as merely a theory, right?
He seems pretty dead.
This is some evidence to the
They
death
were
at
so-
the very least.
They were so very slippery. I don't feel comfortable
Yeah.
calling it fact.
What is my guy's name? Ratch is gonna hold up the pieces and be like, I don't know.
Are they dead?
He's pretty good.
I mean, it did seem that most of the copies, the clones, they kind of dissipated, and this left behind stuff. So
They
Fingers
come
crossed.
back asking for their bits. We've got them.
This is true.
Caspian kind
Speaking
of
of
pops out of
bits.
the Kajag goes, you people are disgusting. Looking
Speaking
directly
of
at you.
bits,
So continue.
You've been looking for your bits this whole time, Cat.
But I'm not holding anybody
No
else's.
different. There's not different.
speaking
Cappy.
of the cat's bits, are, Iggy, do you have something to say?
I was gonna say, I don't know. I mean, your bits can augment weapons. Can you do anything about this lock? Especially because we think maybe more of your bits will be in here.
Precisely my point.
That is an interesting question. Could the way that this work affect this lock? I'm going to say no. Catsby kind of walks over, jumps off your shoulder, walks over, kind of climbs up on the bookcase next to it, peers his head around. Doesn't look like there's much I can do with it. I'm not, this isn't really my area, I guess. Too
I guess we'll take it with us.
Not enough I can latch onto, if you sort of know what I mean, which not even I do, but there's something there. I will say that is actually a piece of information that you might want to note.
Static. Okay.
Can you repeat what Catsby's exact
It's
wording was?
too static, not enough for him to latch onto.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Well, that brings us to the uncomfortable question: can Valentine's bits open it?
Just kind of smear him on there.
I don't think that's a logical concept.
We could probably go get a royal mage.
Yeah, I was gonna say we went to the library earlier and found a mage. That might not be a bad idea.
Is there a reason we don't just want to shoot it? It's a lock, right?
It is a safe.
Usually it's
like magic aside, it is a. I don't think I actually described it as metal, but I kind of thought that was implied. It is a metal safe. So like, if you're just gonna fire a pistol shot at it, that's probably not gonna do enough.
Magic pistol shot.
Magic safe.
So-
I mean,
Matt,
yes.
this is sort of a wayside thought that just got clicked by something, but like CL is fully registering that we could potentially have a lot of royal government power. Actually, I'm not used to that.
Mm-hmm.
And we have this whole royal building. CL wants to search for any legal writing, presumably ancient, that details what exactly a knight is and what the powers are.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Go ahead and give me an investigation check for that.
If it's not in here, presumably it would be in the library.
That's
Never mind. That's a good sign.
That's an 20.
okay.
Oh,
Yeah, so what I was going to say is I was actually going to say, Nikhil's right. This would not be something that would be in this office, but with a nat 20 especially,
Right.
you were you in the library? I believe you were.
We were in the library.
Yeah,
It was
I
you,
know
CL, and
it was
Matt.
everyone but Pine. That was what the split up was. Because I know someone was split up. Yeah, like
Yes.
you passed a section that was like royal history or something. You passed the exact section that you're like, yeah, that's probably it, and you remember where that was.
Awesome.
The library?
¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
I think CL, especially with he has been kidnapped today, and everything, is literally like Pine says, "Oh, we can get a royal mage." Flashes to, "I know exactly where the book I want is." Communicates, "I'm going to figure basically what I told Matt, but in a way that isn't fully clear to the party," and dashes out of the room.
I'm gonna go figure out what
CL
Pine's
says
deal
something
is.
about
Just like-
CL says something about legal documents and leaves.
all right, cool.
What a studious
CL is
fellow.
an expert at the Dewey Decimal System.
truly.
I guess then that falls to everybody else. Is anyone else following, or is CL going on on his own mission again? That's up to you guys.
What did we come here to do? Oh, it was
Let's see.
I would
the
assume
CL, right? I don't know.
CL led you here because of the safe. There was also some talk about taking this over as your new office, which I don't believe was fully planned out, but I think those were the two reasons.
I assume if we sought out a mage, we'd end up where CL is going, even if we didn't follow him.
Yeah, that is actually kind of
That's where we.
So you, as CL's
CL
leaving, you
runs
guys are
out.
like, all right,
We're all
cool,
just
we're gonna
like,
go deal with
okay.
the mage. And then you leave and just find yourselves going in the exact same direction.
We're going
regardless.
We're all in the same staircase. CL's like running down. We're just like back here, like, all right.
Yep.
Following at serial killer distance, like fucking Jason Voorhees, just walking quickly behind the running man.
Yeah.
Serial killer distance, but the serial killer is in front.
It's
Well,
like when you
Fine.
finish
We
saying
don't know.
goodbye to your
It was
friend
an
and then you end up
execution.
going the same
Yeah.
way.
Yep. Okay, so that happens. I mean, I guess by definition, let's do Seal's thing first, because he did leave a good 4 seconds prior, which I guess
Yeah,
is a
we'll get there
priority.
right after.
Yeah.
The moment he finds the book, we're just like already there. We're like, what's that?
Seal, you are able to get to the library. Probably a little less populated than it was last time, mostly just due to like some insane shit happening at the castle in that between period. But there are still some people milling around. In most cases, I would ask you to do a check to see if you could find where you're going, but nah, you know exactly where you're going and are able to find a book detail. What would this book even be like called? I don't know, something boring. But you're able to find some book of like royal titles throughout history or like history of, you know, noblemen and knights, something like you are able to find the information that you are looking for.
Knights for dummies.
And you're just looking for, like, as stupid as this sounds, what the hell a knight actually does within the society of Spondylix. So you were able to find, what did I say? I said that the guard that Pine asked said that like his grandfather had some story about a knight. So the most recent knighting was probably what, like
47 years ago.
20 years ago, something like that, if it was someone the grandpa knew in his youth.
Oh,
That tracks, right? No, that would track.
There are races.
I don't know
that live
about
that
you,
long.
buddy, but my grandfather was not a child 120 years ago.
Well, we didn't specify whose grandfather it is.
Well, yeah,
and
we
what
did. We also this
they
was
are.
like a guy. This was a guy
Yeah.
whose grandfather told a story. It's not like a living person. You don't know how old the. I'm sticking with it. That's if you don't like it. It was a long life species. Ha. Actually, the grandpa's still alive, just somewhere else. No, I don't want to canonize that.
We're gonna go find the
Yeah.
grandpa. That sounds
the grandpa
West.
was. You know what? The grandpa was Milk Guy from like 3 episodes ago.
We can find him then. Let's go get that guy.
That's canon, and your characters have absolutely no way to verify that whatsoever. But it is. I'm saying
I'm
as the
getting a
DM
word
speaking
from
to the
God.
audience,
I
it's
feel like we
canon.
should go see Milk Guy.
It's canon that this grandpa was the Milk Guy from before, but no one will ever have any way to confirm or deny that. Anyway, you are able to find this information. Now, here's the fun thing. Jess, remember how you said you were not expecting Pine to get knighted in this episode? Neither was the DM. So now I have to decide exactly what that means too, because I was fully willing to be like, yeah, Pine's a knight. Pine has more power. And then Mike was like, I want to know specifically what that means.
Exactly how much.
I meant to lead with you can nix this because it makes more work for you.
No,
I
it's
forgot
funny.
to say that in my excitement.
And therefore,
Like,
it's not
also-
contractually viable.
Well, here's the
I
thing,
also-
Mike. It's a good question, so I can't just nix it because it's a viable thing to want to know.
Also, like, if you have a legal document, I'm proofing against another Valentine situation where they could rhetoric their way into no,
Yeah.
actually.
Yes.
Also,
So
I do want to put out there that oftentimes the head knight is pretty high up in the line of succession, especially if there's no
This is
royal
true.
family.
that is actually
Mhm.
true.
Yes. Well, this is why I assume.
Oh, you know what? Oh, I thought of a great cop-out answer that's also kind of funny. Historically, there would be a group of knights. I'm not going to call them the Round Table because I'm not that cheap, but there was a Round Table-esque organization of knights.
It was actually a triangular table. So,
No,
distinct.
you buffoon. It was octagonal. What's wrong with you? The Knights of the Octagonal Table. There was a group of, screw it, 8 knights. Each of them had sort of different roles within the kingdom, but it was sort of like an older version of a King's Cabinet where they all had different roles, and then they would be replaced when one of them moved, like a Supreme Court situation in a sense. With the way that things were handled, though, when one knight's seat was empty, one of the other knights would take up that position as well, just until a role was filled. And right now, kind of seems like Pine's the only knight, which by the old legal text sort of just means Pine has whatever powers might be necessary by default.
Including making more knights?
Okay, well, Nikhil, that's not the case, right? Because the king does that, and that's historically knights are not self-replicating. I don't think.
Listen, all my knowledge of knights comes from Game of Thrones, where any knight can make a knight.
Okay,
So I don't know what
well,
to tell
that's stupid. Game of Thrones.
If anyone is paying attention to CL reading this, you see him like eyes the size of quarters, like looking over this, and you see him. You can almost see him start salivating.
Yeah. So yes, for now, until I have more time to figure out what exactly this means. Not that I'll retcon it, but for now, Pine's powers are expansive due to being one of those legal situations where no one knows what the fuck is happening. So that's what we're gonna go with. And with that, which I think was a decent chunk of on the fly world building, we will cut over to the other group, who's 30 feet away, probably, during this. So
we walk up to CL.
We do like a dramatic establishing shot where like the camera zooms off of CL and then zooms back in like 20 feet to the left. As you guys, enter the library and go look for a mage. Ultimately, it hasn't been that long since
is the
last
woman who
was
unlocked
there.
her thing
The
there?
same one there.
Yeah,
just go up to her again.
It's been what, like, at most, I think, in universe time, an hour and a half, maybe. So yeah, sure, she's still working on the same project.
Hello again, ma'am. We have another thing that we were wondering if you could unlock for us.
She kind of looks up and goes, "Oh, do you need another lightning spell?" And again, just kind of starts holding up like the crackling orb of energy.
I'm
Not
also a big fan of lightning spells.
not quite lightning, possibly. Do we have the lock, or is it the safe?
It's in the wall.
Oh, you
The
have
wall
it.
state.
Wait.
Are you? Do we have it or not? Because Iggy's saying yes, and Pine's saying no.
Oh, you
No,
don't.
'cause Iggy picked up the doll, not the lock, right?
You have the doll. You don't have the lock.
The safe.
If someone asked
Okay.
about taking the safe, I missed that. The safe is wall mounted. It is in that office. Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
go ahead.
If I
Not-
missed that or was not clear about that, I'm sorry.
Not quite lightning, but are you familiar with breaking into safes?
You ask this old professor how familiar she is with crime, and in the spirit
Not crime. This is very legitimate actions. We have a
very
knight here.
legitimate safe cracking. You know what? We'll leave this one to the luck of the draw. Let's see if this professor had an interesting checkered past here. I'll say statistically she works for the royalty, so probably not. We'll say 17 plus on this 20-sided die. Yes. I rolled off the table. I really need to get a dice tray. That's an 11. Unfortunately. Sure. The woman kind of looks up and goes, "Not specifically." I don't remember what voice I did for
Well,
her. Whatever.
would you mind? How would you feel about coming with us, checking out the safe, and then maybe seeing what you think might open it?
It's an arcane lock, which is why we've come to you.
I
assume
don't
you're
know who
mage.
any of you are.
We were just talking earlier about the weird black box. We had a
Are you
ghoulish
some
friend
of
with
my
us.
students?
He's over there
She
now.
kind of like pulls her glasses down and looks over. "I don't recognize you, but some of the lecture halls are quite large."
Ma'am, I'm a knight.
A what
the
now?
knight. A knight?
At this point, CL, like, I assume close enough and having, like, tuned into the rest of the world for long enough, clambers over whatever is between him and you guys, and, like...
I do believe, just for note, you're not allowed to change that now that you said it, because it's much funnier this way. I am like 95% certain last week I did describe this woman as studying on the second floor. So
Yes.
CL just clambers
Exactly
over
on
like
the
the
second floor.
railing.
CL clambers up the wall, over the railing, down to the ground, and then rises up into frame.
Really using that second story work.
Yeah, that's sure.
No, it's you frame it as we're having this conversation. She's like, "Who is this?" It just in the background, like starting blurry, and then just getting more into focus. Is CL.
Yeah.
Probably like a fucking creature.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
2 feet from the
And
stairs.
he pushes the document onto the desk toward her. A recently reinstated political position, which is quite up high, which is actually quite up high up the hierarchy, bestowed upon Pine as an act of supreme trust in this political leader of the next generation.
Uh,
As as you
Give-
can see here, it is well within jurisdiction to check any arcane safe on royal grounds.
Oh, okay. You know what? You actually just said something that I was going to get to in a second. Give me a persuasion check. But since you did say on royal grounds, go ahead and give it to me with advantage.
Wow, I paid for that 20. That was a 3 and a 2 on the die.
Ooh.
Man's not lying at all. It's
said
just
it
so
was persuasion. It just-
uncharismatic.
It was
He's just like,
persuasion.
He did crawl up a story to butt into the conversation. Imagine you're having a conversation with a bunch of strangers and another stranger like spider climbs over the railing and goes, "Actually, she's in charge."
Look, Ciel has the spirit, but he has 0 game or composure at this point. Too much has changed in the world.
So what was the total on that one?
man,
5.
Okay. The woman looks
Ma'am.
at you and pauses for a second. She goes, "Well, if it's on royal grounds, that makes it a little easier since you're not trying to take me somewhere random, but also I still don't know who any of you are." And then Iggy, you were going to say something.
Ma'am, yeah, can I be straight with you?
I would prefer that you did.
I open my coat to show her Catsby.
Catsby is kind of just hanging on the inside, just kind of swivels his head around hey.
This is my friend Catsby, and we believe that a part of him is being held against his will in this safe, and it would be great if you could help us open it so that my friend here can be the best version of himself.
Catsby, who up until this point has been doing a very clear job to remain somewhat secretive and has not been just actively showed off to people, looks around at this woman and goes, "Wolf, damn it."
Meow.
And then the seeing this magical artifact, actually, screw it, I'm gonna give her an Arcana check on Catsby.
she gets a nat 20. She immediately
What a
knows what
time to
we're
get a
doing.
nat 20, actually. I'm not even kidding.
Wow.
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 So many things in this episode that just I have to start improving really fast. Okay, so this woman looks very intently at Catsby, seeming very intrigued. Goes, "All right, well, given this situation, fine. Take me to the safe." Stands up, closes the book. "Let me put this back first." She kind of starts hobbling over to the shelf, slips the book that she was reading back into place, and then hobbles back over.
What book was she reading? Ciel's gonna check.
Not anything plot relevant. I'll just go ahead and say for the
Okay.
sake of convenience.
The story of Milkman.
She's a professor. You can assume it's just something for one of her classes that she's researching. Not for the sake of me not having to improv more. Nothing plot relevant.
And if we wanted to attend one of these classes, how would one do so?
Yeah. Is there a
Don't
fee?
ask the DM. Ask the professor. You got a professor in front of you. This is the rest of the series is just you guys doing homework for magic class.
I'm still robbed that in Symmetry you never actually gave a fake lecture like I wanted you to when we did the whole
Hey,
glib backstory. I tried so hard.
Hey, maybe one day. Maybe one day.
Perhaps we should get to the lock one day.
Yes.
Yeah, let's go back to the lock.
All right, you guys head back to the office. I do think. Let me do a check here. Okay, everyone, give me Actually, you know what? I'm changing. CL specifically, give me a perception check.
Oh, that's interesting.
You're 14. Hollywood.
Wow, that's not. Well, I hope it's not a hard check because that's a
Not a-
9. Never mind. That's
Yeah, no, that's not gonna be enough for it. Okay.
another 2 on the die. That's not good.
Rip. Yeah, you got that 20 to find that book,
Yeah.
and then which did indirectly lead to the DM improvising probably way too much power for Pine than I should. So hey, you gotta, if you can get a nat 20 that stuns the DM, that's a victory.
I do love that Pine came a few episodes ago and was like, "I'm in charge of all the knights," and then Matt kept being like, "That's not true. That's just what Pine said." And now Pine is literally in charge of all of
Flying
the
in
knights.
direct defiance of my wishes. But hey, manifesting, I guess. You got back to Valentine's office. Actually, we're gonna do a history check. Would this professor know specifically where you're going? There's a non-zero chance of that. Oh, definitely not. Recognize it as a diplomat's office, but does not seem to have been here specifically. And actually, yeah, with a role like that, this is not going to be. She kind of walks in, rushes over to the safe, starts investigating the lock. I will give her an Arcana check on it first thing. Lots of checks for the DM here. She investigates it, and without really saying anything, kind of turns around to you. And is this your office? I'm not sure why you would need me to unlock. It is your office.
Well, it is now. Absolutely.
It is.
We are inheriting it. It is the office of somebody who has gone against the king and met court justice.
Yes. Ma'am, would it shock you to
give
learn
me-
that one of the diplomats here is evil?
Okay, well, I was gonna say give me a fairly easy persuasion check, and then Ratch Hatchet was like, one of the leaders is evil. So now give me a little bit harder of a persuasion check, I think.
Is that towards me or is that towards Ratch Hatchet?
Let it be me.
Oh,
I can do it.
Screw it, both of you.
Okay.
Oh, that was a nat 1. I could not do it. I have a plus 10, but I don't think it'll matter.
That's a 16.
Okay, so let's play this out here. The woman asks a question. Pine kind of goes, "Oh, we're inheriting this office from somebody. The standard kind of boilerplate. Lots of things didn't get necessarily fixed properly in the transition." And then Hatchet kind of barges in and goes, "The guy was evil, so now it's our office."
I stand by it.
It's not very convincing because he smells like viscera.
Right.
a fair point. I mean, you probably all do, but he's got it on his person.
A plus 10 to persuasion. All I want to do is tell the truth to people, and I get treated like this.
Here's the thing, like, you aren't stating the truth in an incredibly off-putting way.
Yeah.
They were evil. Explain?
So
They were.
at that the professor paused. I'm sorry. Is there documentation of this transition? It's just this is quite an intense lock on here. I don't want to get in any legal trouble for opening something just off of word of mouth.
I don't know if we have documentation of this transition, but I can give somebody to vouch for my authority here, which will keep you out of any trouble.
Okay, if it's someone in a high enough position, that seems fine. Who might that
I'd like
be?
to find that head guard again, one that vouched for
Yeah,
us
sure.
earlier.
Like a commanding officer. I
I
could
have
make
two
you.
questions for this commanding officer.
I could make
ahead.
you roll for it, but I'm not gonna bother because that's a very boring roll. So yeah, you are able to find the. For several awkward minutes, everyone stands around in the office with this kind of scared woman. As Pine goes and finds this commanding officer who was witness to the promotion. But you do find him.
Hi. Yes, I need you to, until word spreads, I need you to vouch for my position, as I'm trying to move quickly and get some things done, again, on King's orders. On a side note, do you know what happened to the wolf monster that was in the throne room? Do we need to deal with that?
I love this. First things first. There's some legal documentation that's still in the works. If you could really just sign off on that temporarily, as we're in this transition period of me taking office, that would be really helpful. Side note: monster in the castle. What was up with that?
it feels like canonically Pride is
Not
the.
what was up with that. Where is it?
Where is
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Do you happen to know where the monster is?
Not only is Pine seemingly the first person in canon to think of this, but also no one has mentioned it, and CL has no fucking idea there's a werewolf in the equation
that also
still.
is true. CL does not know that happened. However,
Rude to out somebody as a werewolf.
Now, interestingly, by the way that we've set things up, by definition, that guard could not have actually been in the room when the thing with Shepard was resolved, because if he was witnessing the thing outside, he was not in the room. These two things were going on concurrently. Well, to address the second thing first, I of course wasn't in there. I was out here, as you know. I was told that he just vanished. Someone said that there was some glow from the ceiling, and then he was just gone. If you want more details, you'll have to ask somebody else. There was a lot of things going on. I have some people investigating.
If you happen to find a man named Shepard in the castle, he may or may not be naked. Let me know.
Why might he
Don't
be
hurt him.
naked in the castle?
The wolf monster does that to people.
He makes them naked.
I assume he doesn't keep his.
Make me a deception check, Jess. Make me a deception check for the werewolf takes people's clothes off, please.
Oh, to be fair, we were throwing around the term werewolf and asking about a naked man. If he knows what a werewolf is,
yeah, you know, people saw him transform, right? He was.
I assume they're all dead.
You know what's pretty central to the concept of werewolf, Moon? You know what we don't have under the earth, Moon?
Yeah, we don't have a werewolf.
I don't think we have werewolf.
That is true. That is true. But
that's true. Wait, so what have we been saying? You think?
Just wolf?
I just said wolf.
Man. Yeah, wolf monster, wolf man. Anyway, what was
14 get me?
A 14. I mean, I'll insight check, but
the
like
wolf
it's gonna have
steals
to be.
your clothes.
Yeah.
Don't you know?
The guard kind of looks you up and down and goes, "So Shepard, that's the guy's name, then."
Yeah.
Okay.
That's bring him to me when you find him. I'll take care of it. Try to make as little work for y'all as possible.
Go find a naked man, bring him to me, and I'll take care of it. Thank you.
And that's the show, everybody. Thanks for watching D&Dorks. We're never doing it again.
Look, I did well on most of the conversations in this game, just not this one.
The guy kind of raises his eyebrows. Yeah, okay. Sorry, what was your other question?
Oh, yeah, I just need you to vouch for me for somebody, to just explain to them that I have the authority that I think I have, as a knight.
Okay.
There hasn't been one of these in a long time, and there just needs to be some way to express to people that, like, hey, I am a knight now.
Sure.
And I'm getting things done.
It's fine. It's fine. Just where are I'll go talk to him.
And then
It's a badge.
yeah, after that we'll find some way to communicate this with everybody. But for now, let's just go talk to this lady. Say, how well do you know Valentine?
Fun time where I get to roll a history check here. How do I want to calculate this in my head? What's the sort of DC for this? Let's go with that. Oh. Okay. Pine, I'm gonna need you to roll an insight check for me.
I'm so good at insight. Is that a 16 or a 19? That is a 19 plus 2 is 21.
I had spoken with them a few times. Obviously, at a slightly higher ranking in the guards. We had dealings occasionally. I believe I was dispatched on some missions that came from Valentine's orders. Suit's definitely lying.
Okay, I'm gonna look at him. Okay, makes sense. I'm going to deliver some news, and if you need to talk about it, we can find somebody.
We can find somebody. Not even talk to me.
6 men are dead.
I'll go find you somebody.
6 men are no. During the scuffle with the wolf monster and the ensuing chaos, I believe Valentine perished.
Just real quick, how much would it scare our audience if we called this episode 6 Men Are Dead? I feel like we have to. I feel like because everyone who's gonna know is gonna be like, oh shit. Okay.
6 men are dead.
Anyway, yeah, so you just straight up tell this dude who is lying, Valentine perished. We're gonna do.
What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? Be loyal to the dead
Well,
person, or to the person who's offering a raise?
Give me another insight check.
All right. That is a 13.
13. Okay, yeah. This guy kind of like stops in his tracks for a second. Goes, what? Well, that's unfortunate. I would not have
Indeed.
expected that. It seems kind of stunned, but seems like legitimately stunned from what you can tell. The surprised reaction you would expect for like the equivalent of a nobleman just died in the throne room. Nothing sketchy beyond that you can tell.
So we are going to go to their office. There is a safe that we need to open. There are a lot of things happening, as I'm sure you can imagine. And this is kind of an emergency. So I can sit here and explain all of the details to you if you'd like, or we can just get this done and I can let you go about your day. I imagine you are exhausted.
No. I'll accompany you to the office. In fact, Valentine was quite a high up figure in our community. I might take a few other guards with me just in case there's some sensitive information that we need to transport. Thank you for bringing this to my attention.
Of course. And again, if you need anything or are dealing with feelings of grief, we can find someone and we can pay you better, not have to worry about it. Sort of a hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
For offering me therapy, I think.
Close enough.
That is
Not I think.
appreciated. Just kind of nods, rallies some other guards, and then is ready to follow you. Let's say there are 4 other guards, so 5 in total, including this commanding officer.
Oh, perfect. So I guess I show up with 5 guards.
Make me a perception check as you're going in.
Okay. That is a 10.
A 10. At this point, that's actually going to be enough. This was, I'll go ahead and say, the thing that CL missed earlier. There are, like, people that have been in this building the whole time, and it's starting to get to a point where the level of entry and exit from Valentine's office, especially without Valentine themselves, is getting a little bit suspicious. And now also there's, like, a team of guards that are going in. Like, you can tell that people here are figuring stuff out. What do you mean you could be Valentine?
Isn't Valentine changeling? We could be Valentine.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, like, Valentine did not go in and out of their office in, like, various shape-shifting forms.
Yeah, while Valentine was duplicitous, they also would have had a public presence that would have been made.
Mike is exactly right. This is the secret identity. This is not like sketchy stuff. This is the front-facing office. So yeah, I mean, Pine, you show back up at the office with 5 guards. I assumed that the safe is still open. The professor seems comforted by this fact. There's more official people there. I assume nobody else is comforted by this, but
very discomforted by it actually. And CL is going to.
They got betray us too. Their boss is dead.
Catsby kind of like without actually exiting Iggy's jacket. Maybe don't just sort of flash me at these guys this time. Or at least, check with me first.
Yeah, I tuck them in.
That's it. It's cool. It's cool. Just, yeah.
Steele's gonna lean down to Pine. Your night ship. Is there any way we could parse this down to vital personnel? It seems a bit crowded, and that's a lot of fucking guards that probably were in Valentine's pocket.
I didn't mean to. All right, I'm gonna look to the lead guard, and I'm gonna be like, in case there's any vital information in here, we would like to have this be, an eyes-only situation. Can you have your men guard the door?
after thinking for a moment, the commanding officer does send the people out of the room, noting they are like immediately out of the room. Like if you exit the room, there will be 2 guards on either side of you. The commanding officer does stay in the room, but the room itself has been cleared a little bit. Also, just for the sake of this office, I guess maybe being more relevant of a place now, I'm going to describe it a little bit more. Let's say this is like a 2-room office. There's like the office proper, and then there's like a waiting area outside. Because again, this is a diplomatic office. It's going to be more hospitable. The guards are in like the waiting area out. They are immediately outside the door of the area that you are in.
Okay.
And
then the guard.
I would say the guard at the moment is probably the professor is kind of briefing the guard on like the lock and what it is, and kind of confirming everything with. If you guys want to talk amongst yourselves as this is happening, you have a minute to do so, or you can wait. As usual, your call.
Say anything if you guys don't.
No, I'm good.
Can I actually ask a question that probably won't be immediately relevant, but just so I can have in the back of my head? The guard I was talking that told me about the U.S. government plan, how high up would they have been? Because like knowing roughly where that level of information stops.
That's a good question. This is not a necessarily like hard and fast full ranking, but if your regular guard is here and the commanding officer is here, which for audio viewers, lower, higher, this was a guard who was like actively guarding the king. So I'm gonna say like in the middle of those 2, lower than the commanding officer, but higher than your average guard. Probably a more skilled, like, if anything, a more skilled fighter rather than being like someone for information, considering they were more of a bodyguard or anything like that. But someone who is lower ranking than just for say, midpoint of the guards who are there right now. Higher ranking than the ones outside, lower ranking than the officer.
Okay, that is excellent to know. Okay.
All right. So the conversation with the professor and the guard wraps up, and we're going to do an Arcana check to see again how easily this professor can open it. Let's hope I don't get a 1. That is fine enough. So it does take several minutes, which again, if you want to interject and do something in that time, you're more than welcome to. But the professor does manage to get this lock opened up, and then kind of steps back for somebody else to go check out the safe. Doesn't seem particularly interested in the contents of it. This professor, as best you can tell, is not involved with this scheme, so... if
We're going to thank her and tell her that if she wants to, she can stick around, but she's free to go about her duties.
She is going to go about her duties. But actually, everyone make a perception check.
No, I'm not using that die.
That's a 21.
21?
16.
Okay.
Hatchet. You definitely noticed, as... Oh, was there another one?
It was
19.
Yeah, Hatchet. You definitely notice that as this professor is leaving the room, her gaze does linger specifically on like Iggy's jacket where you know Catsby is hiding. No, definitely not a coincidence. Like there is some thought in this professor's mind remembering that is there, but then she does leave. As this is happening, the commanding officer is going to kind of quickly step forward in some attempt to get to whatever is in this safe first. If anyone would like to interject, you can do so, but you might have to make rolls for it.
Can I just be blunt like usual? I mean, can I just say, what was your deal with Valentine?
The guard does not stop their quick, like, you know, I'm blanking on just opening the safe and starting to look through the contents. Oh, I wasn't super familiar with them personally. It's just, you know,
they're dead now, and I know that they were paying some of the guards. I want to make sure you and your boys are taken care of.
Oh, well, that's...
I'm asking what the deal is, so I can make sure you are compensated accordingly.
Give me a persuasion check.
You guys ever watch?
Um,
There's this one show. I
17?
don't even know what it is.
Sorry, go ahead.
I don't even know what the show is. I just see it on TikTok, but it's a really funny clip where someone like gets a new secretary, and then they find out that the old person who had that secretary has been paying for their salary the whole time, and he's like, "It's okay, I'll just pay for it now." And then he goes in and he's like, "How much do they make? Because the company won't pay their salary, so I have to pay it." And they're like, infinite amounts of money, and he's like, "Oh shit." And I think it'd be very funny. She's just like, "I'll give you raises," and all these guys are like, "We make $100,000 a year," and
The,
Piper's
the
like,
has-
"No."
the crown has this money. There's no way the king is gonna notice if we give all the guards raises.
What did you get on that persuasion check?
17.
17. I didn't get insight. Okay. So the guard doesn't really seem to like. You are not the primary focus of this guard right now. You hear like some rustling of papers, etc., etc. As the guard kind of goes, just says, no, it's nothing important. It's awful that they're paying people off. However, after this, as this is going on, you've been hearing like rustling of papers, etc., maybe a few things clinking around. You hear like a sliding noise that is definitely not like a piece of paper being moved. The guard is standing in front of this safe, by the way, body obscuring it from you very intentionally.
CL is going to manipulate his frame however he needs to try to get his head into the safe and see what the fuck he's messing with.
Give me a dexterity acrobatics. Roll for contortion. Acrobatics seems fine. Do acrobatics.
All right.
Oh, for contortion.
That's a dirty 20.
Yeah, you are able to twist your lanky, weird body in certain ways to see that this guard has somehow triggered and slid away a false back that was also in this safe, and quickly reached in to like take something out of it before like. Oh, I see. Jake's putting a finger up. What?
Yeah.
You don't see this for what it's worth, but if you have something for it.
Right, but
You
I
see
did
CL manipulate his
yeah.
fucking body.
when you said that the scraping noise, I said it, but I think I got
Oh yeah.
over.
If you said something, it might have gotten Discord noise
Yes,
suppression.
I want to do my signature move, which is mold earth beneath this guy.
Is this going to be would this be a stone floor? I mean, yeah, I think it's a safe. It's not. I think this is my world building. It's a safe bet to assume that everything in here is stone. So yeah, sure. Go ahead and give me. That's not a check. That's just a thing that happens. I will give this guy a dexterity save to see if he can, because this is an athletic dude. Somewhat surprisingly, this guy, kind of like feeling the floor drop out from under him, very quickly reaches up, because I said this was in a bookcase, grabs onto like a shelf, and pops his feet up so that he's propped over the hole. Does finish the action with his free arm, reaches in, grabs something, and then you hear the sliding, presumably, of this thing closing. And then, I mean, yeah, he's definitely going to yell for the people that are standing right outside the door.
CL bites his arm. CL's mouth is right next to his arm. He bites his arm.
Roll for initiative.
Okay, now
Tail bites his arm.
Now, bite attacks are not in any way uncommon in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. In fact, I would say they are very common. I've never seen a half-elf do one.
Listen, I didn't even say it was an attack. I'm not even, like, CL will bite that fucking hard. He's a freak.
Yes.
And if you'll let me make an attack roll, I'll make one. I just wanted to bite his fucking arm.
I don't think you even have
How
to
many
make
guards
an
were there
attack
again?
roll.
There were
I don't
four.
think it's going to be like...
Or outside, yeah.
I don't think anyone's braced
Okay.
for the, like,
If
basically
I could-
human man just going, ah, on the dude's...
I have
if I could
another option.
specify, if I could specify something I would want by trying to bite him and maybe make a roll 4, I would like to bite him hard enough that it might break his grip on the object
Okay,
that he's
noted.
pulling out of the safe.
I've seen Nikhil and Jake also want to do things, so we're going to...
I want to do something.
Okay,
badly.
check everybody's first, and then we're going to determine. What's your thing, Nikhil?
I would have cast Charm Person on all 4 of these fucking guards.
Okay, so that's what you're going to
So they're
do.
not.
at the same time, because
It's
you guys do
gonna
not
be
have time to
harder. Now
communicate
this
this,
one bit a motherfucker.
Iggy,
We had
what is
opportunity.
your plan in this moment? I guess Pine, if you also want to do things, and then we'll resolve all of these
So-
effects simultaneously. There's Magic the Gathering reference.
Oh.
Put your things on the stack, everybody.
I'm gonna
Yes.
cast Silent Image in front of this catastrophe happening at the safe to make it look like the, you know, there's just a safe and a wall there, and
love-
there's not a weird.
What
man
reality have
fighting.
we entered in which the kobold is the kobold's casting a spell and the half elf is biting? What is happening?
I just keep
what is
remembering your
happening?
hero forge you made, Mike. That's just this like old man, just face biting someone.
Okay, so what's
And then
So,
Iggy.
yeah, and then Iggy as well.
Yes.
What's your plan?
So, the guard calls the head guard calls for the other guards
Mhm.
that are right outside the door. So as they bottleneck through the doorway, I want to cast Earth Tremor on that 10 foot of doorway, right where they're all
Okay.
gonna be.
Does Earth
Well, a
Tremor
doorway-
have?
Second
Well,
level.
okay,
A doorway would statistically be the worst place to cast Tremor, right?
okay. So
What?
okay,
Because
Here's how-
doorways are the most structurally secure place. That's why you put together an earthquake.
Magically,
It's not
like a real
earthquake,
earth-
it's
a
kind of-
magic earthquake.
it just makes he's not trying to collapse it. He's trying to make them fall.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay,
Fall and get
this
hurt
is
and be prone.
this is not technically a combat yet, but I do think the most fair way to resolve this is to have everybody roll initiative and then resolve these conflicting effects in that order.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make people friendly, and you guys are attacking.
Okay.
I'm not attacking anyone. I'm right there with you.
I was like, let's just not escalate, and y'all were like, let's bite this fucking man.
I'm so we have not gone for long enough, so I'm not going to. But I'm really tempted to end the show here. I'm really tempted to have that be the cliffhanger, but no.
The episode title can be I
Technically,
want to
I'm
bite
not
that
attacking
fucker's
them. I'm
arm.
just trying to do crowd control.
Okay,
My initiative was 5.
5. Okay, I should be writing these down.
Mine was 15.
16.
Okay.
Mine was also 15.
Okay, who among you has the two 15s? Who has the higher dex score?
Where was one? 12? Oh, probably me, because she's.
I have a -1
yeah.
dex.
Yeah, she's -1.
Okay,
Yeah.
so correct me if I'm wrong here, but it would be Iggy, Ratch, Pine, CL.
Yes.
I think. Okay, Iggy.
So we're gonna do all this stuff, and then CL's gonna bite this fucking
Yes.
guy.
Well, realistically, this is all happening basically in universe. This is all happening simultaneously. But as a game that we are playing with dice, like I said, Magic the Gathering rules for any players in chat. This is the stack that's happening right now. Okay, Iggy, Ratch, Pine,
Basically,
CL.
this man calls for his other guards, and then a cacophony of bullshit happens to it.
All right, so Iggy, you're first up. Cast your spell.
That's the episode title. A cacophony of bullshit.
Cacophony of bullshit. I never know. Can we put swears in the YouTube title and get in trouble for it?
You
I
just put the ad
I don't
sign,
think
it'll
it's
be fine.
encouraged.
I'll ask Momo if we can do that.
Asterisk.
A cacophony of bullshit is a very good episode title, so we'll put it in the options list. Iggy, cast your spell.
Okay, so I want it centered like right on the doorway. These 4 guys
Yep.
are apparently rushing in. So I'm casting it at 2nd level. So they each have to pass a 13 dex save, or take 2d6 damage and be knocked prone.
Okay. And I should, I think I know the answer to this, but I do want to make sure because it will matter. This is not a persistent effect. This is one shake and it happens. This is, okay.
It's a one. Yes, it's
That
a
is
one time.
better
So
for
that
the-
basically, if
Okay.
they pass it, the only persistent effect is that 10 feet then becomes difficult terrain,
Okay, because it's like messing up
meaning
the
that
floor.
it just
but
takes
yeah.
a little
Okay.
bit,
Yeah.
a little bit more to get through it.
Okay, of 13 you said?
Yes.
Every single guard, just kind of like a Three Stooges cartoon, just one by one, into the room, flat on their ass, X4.
Oh.
And now, once again, effectively simultaneously, but right after this happens, maybe the funniest
Matt, you
turn
gotta
order
give him
this
the damage.
possibly could have. Oh, right. Do the damage.
It's
Stop, Benjamin.
9.
9 damage.
Bludgeoning, I think.
Damage
Yes,
type
9
isn't
bludgeoning each.
relevant enough for this, but that is to everybody. I'm assuming it's not individual.
Yes, each
okay.
of them. Yeah.
Then again, possibly the funniest thing in the turn order, because it will be happening after the damaging effect, so it could actually work. Ratch, give me your spell.
I don't even know if this is required anymore.
No.
I said it.
No, Nikhil,
so I'll do it.
I did this. This is a cacophony of bullshit. I said, "What are you guys all doing?" And everyone
all
goes.
I wanted was this man to just give us the thingy he found, but now we're doing this anyway. How many guards are now in the room? 5, right? So I can't even hit all
5,
of them.
4 in the door, and then 1
gonna
hanging on the shelf.
I'm gonna hit 3 in the door. And one of, because I can go up to 4. I'm gonna cast it at 4th level. I'm gonna cast 3 in the door and the head guy.
All right.
One of the 4 guys on the ground's not gonna like me. It's fine.
That's okay.
I'm gonna cast Charm Person, which is a Wisdom saving throw. However, they do get advantage if your companions are fighting it. So
see, now that's interesting because I'm gonna say. And this is maybe me being too permissive of a DM, but I also think this is funny. The guard who took the thing from the vault, definitely getting that advantage. However, I do think it is reasonable enough that the disorientation of running through the rumbling doorway and then falling down would counteract the advantage. Because I was like, surely it's fair to say that there's some disadvantage to wisdom saves in that situation. So I'm gonna say I'm not gonna give it. I'm gonna counteract the advantage.
Biting you.
It's just a flat. Well, the bite is gonna happen in a second. So it's just flat for all of them. We'll do the ones on the ground first. What was the number on it again?
15 wisdom.
Fail. Success.
Fuck.
Nat 1.
Love it.
Now for the arguably the most important one. This one does have advantage. The guy with the item. That was an 11 on the die, which for a 14, that is not enough. Second roll is lower.
Fuck yes!
Wow.
Well, he's gonna get bitten in a second, so I wouldn't get too excited yet. But not yet though. Pine, you are. I should, in hindsight, and maybe I'll actually do this again in the future because I really like this. I think in the future we're definitely gonna have a moment where I have everybody tell me what you're doing with everyone else headphones off. So there's no bias. I think that's definitely going to happen again at some point in the future. But for now, Pine.
Every time something important happens, just be like,
it's
everyone
like
pick your
prisoner's
bullshit.
dilemma.
Oh. Yeah, this is the. I think this one. There's no way that Pine can fail this one, but
I cannot believe I make one exact character that is not murdering everyone he sees, and Mike comes in with a character that bites people. Do you know how much we could have done together, Mike?
Maybe one of the most human-looking people in the party too. It's so good. We have 2 monster humanoids and then 2 humanoids, and it's not the monster that's biting people. All right, I do remember roughly what you said you were doing, Jess, but a lot of things have happened. I'm a different person now. Remind me exactly what you're doing.
I'm casting Silent Image.
Okay.
As far as the guards who just walked in, no, it doesn't look like there's a hole in the ground. It doesn't look like there's a weird elf man biting their.
Gotcha.
I would say boss, but actually it's their middle manager now because I am their boss.
Okay. Now, yeah, this technically in the stack is happening after these things, but once again, I think it's fair. They came in, they fell down, they immediately got charmed. I think it's reasonable to say that they would not notice this. So, yeah, okay. Silent Image is there, and just to be clear, I understand it. What they will see as they walk in is no hole, no CL. The guard is still on the bookshelf for, I guess, no apparent reason.
Yeah, sure.
Are you changing anything about the vault? Or no?
Oh God. There needs to be a reason that the guard is holding on, panicked, right? And that reason is there are spiders coming out of the vault.
And
No!
and just like that,
Again!
CL
Not
is-
another hole filled with bugs.
time is a flat circle. We have cycled back, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody else, to years prior, with Jess covering Mike in bugs.
Love it.
For
I make
Jake, you have not seen like This is a pattern that has happened with Jess and Mike's characters many times. Jess's characters cover Mike's characters in bugs frequently.
I make a pale antisocial freak and just says bug time. Cover that boy in bugs.
Audience, if you want to know what that's all about, you're gonna have to go back to the first campaign D&Dorks ever did, the Symmetry Saga, which you can do on our YouTube and Spotify and all that stuff. Okay, so CL, bite this fucker.
Unlike
Now,
Rolf,
if we could put curse words in a YouTube thing, that's what you name the episode.
Yeah, I think that one's probably
CL
pretty.
bites this fucker.
That one's probably pretty off limits, but
That's the Patreon one. Patreon
Worth-
gets unique names.
worth noting, Rolf, afraid of the bugs, very perturbed. CL does not notice, probably gets a few spiders in his mouth biting this guy. What do I roll for? Do I roll to hit? I guess.
Yeah, they're not real spiders, so I guess this isn't like I'm gonna say you don't even have to roll to hit because you were in close proximity, and I don't think anyone, let alone the dungeon master, was expecting this. Just roll damage for. Hold on, D&D
Unarmed
D&D
strike.
human bite attack, and my search history's fucked. Okay. Let's see. Typically, an unarmed strike does 1 plus strength mod, but no. Hey, shout out to Tane of Darkwood on D&D Beyond, who wrote 4 paragraphs about how this might play out. Typically, an unarmed strike does 1 plus strength modifier, but let's face it, humans don't really have strong jaw muscles. I mean, we can climb mountains, we can run forever, we can survive limb loss, we're pretty fucking cool, but bite force is not something we've known for. This goes on for 4 more paragraphs.
Hey, our jaw can exert
That's
600
correct.
pounds of downward force. It's called the Malister muscle, and it's
Yeah,
the strongest
I also
muscle in
don't
your
think
body.
this is right.
Yeah.
It's relative to like wolves. That's probably true. Anyway,
Yeah.
personally, I would say that the more standard, i.e., civilized races, which I don't like that phrasing.
You don't have
no.
to read all of it.
I'm
You
not.
can
This
read
is
some
the.
of
No,
the
I'm not.
words.
Let me finish. Would do 1 HP of piercing damage with a bite. No strength mod. That seems fair to me, but I think it's funnier if I give you a strength mod. So just 1 plus your strength mod, CL, which might also be 0.
Yeah, CL isn't particularly strong. No. You know what his strength is.
Neat. Okay, so yeah.
No, you know what his strength is?
All right,
It's
now
-1.
now. And now the DM has the unenviable task of trying to come up with a cohesive way to describe what the absolute fuck went down. We took about 15 minutes to describe maybe 4 seconds of in-game time, and now I have to summarize it all. So, this guard takes a thing that you cannot see yet out of the safe, immediately feels something rumbling in the ground under his feet, and reacting quickly props himself up onto this bookshelf. As he does this, he calls out for the guards, who are ready. The guards run in. Immediately, all 4 of them fall on their ass, at which point 2 of them just kind of look around really confused, while the other 2 jump up ready for a fight. This guard, who is now on the bookshelf, turned back down to look that the hole under his feet is gone, but also there are, like, spiders everywhere. He looks around to see these people, who he suddenly feels not that very hostile towards due to Ratch Hatchet's successful charm spell. And as he is trying to process all of these things that are happening, CL bites him.
CL, don't bite our good
Okay,
friend.
wait, no, we're not done. We're not done. I think it's reasonable to assume that the shock of the spiders combined with the bite causes this man to lose his grip on the shelf, falling into the hole which is still there, but covered by an illusion, therefore just vanishing from view.
Holy fuck. Holy fuck.
This is maybe one of the most chaotic sequences I've ever DM'd.
Wow,
So-
Valentine left some weird traps in here.
A lot of booby traps. You gotta,
A lot of
you gotta be careful, boys.
Valentine's was a crafty one.
Ratch is gonna go over to the hole with his now force-friendly guy in it and offer his hand to help him out.
Remember, the hole is entirely invisible at the moment. The hole looks like regular floor because of Pine's illusion spell.
I did forget that. The hole doesn't exist. That's a good point.
The hole is just floor that this man has clipped through after being jump scared by spiders and then bitten.
Did he keep grasp of the object, or
Here's
no?
the fun thing about that. It also fell into the hole either way. Because he either dropped it and it dropped into the 5-foot hole at his feet, or it fell with him, at which point it is also still in the 5-foot hole. I'm gonna roll for damage that this dude took.
Jesus
That
Christ.
was not the right die.
We killed the chief of police.
It's not gonna kill him.
I'm his
Well,
boss.
that's a Pine walks over there. And
Oh my
shoots
god,
him
there's
with a
so many
lightning
things that
bolt.
we have to. Okay,
I got no more spell slots.
let me look up the exact
Crazy.
rules for Charm Person. Okay, Charm Person. It is charmed by you until the spell ends, or until you or your companions do anything harmful to it.
That's what I would have
Well,
expected.
no, because here's the thing. We're not done with the layers of this. With the way that everything has been described, I don't... Okay.
Maybe a spider bit him. Maybe a spider
Mike,
bit him.
you
There are a
took-
bunch of
you
spiders.
you actually took the words literally right out of my mouth. I am going to make a perception check for this guard to see if he can figure out who bit him.
Oh,
He got a
my
6.
God.
He felt a bite and he saw spiders. You do the math. He falls into this hole. Minor illusion, I have no reason to believe is one-sided, which means he is now presumably just in pitch black. He gets bitten by a spider and then falls into pitch black darkness. This man thinks he died. So he screams, at which point the two guards that are still like active and understanding what's going on are going to rush
Matt.
over to see what
Matt.
happened.
Can I do another thing before, like, right at this moment in time?
Okay, sure. Why not?
Wait, hold on. Let me read what this does before I fuck this up.
Are you? How much are you pushing our luck? Because I feel like we've had a lot of luck for the cacophony of bullshit to
wanna
synergize
cast-
like this.
I want to cast hideous laughter so he stops screaming and starts laughing.
Do you have to see the target?
Let me see. I didn't get to read. I know the
Here's
name.
the thing. I
Well,
need
also
to be
break your
pedantic about the rules here because it's much funnier that everything that is happening is within the actual rules of 5e. So,
No, yeah.
Okay.
A choice that you can see within range.
Okay, yeah, this man
Damn.
is out of your view entirely.
Oh,
Trying to think. Okay, so the guards rush over to see what happened. I made them do dexterity checks. They both passed. Neither of them are going to fall into the hole. However, they are able to see that there is a hole there. They can, like, put their sword down, tap the ground, it goes through. So these guards, the two guards that Hatchet did not charm, are immediately going to look around at you guys, who they fully view still as their enemies in this scenario.
Fair.
Basically just shout, "What the hell did you do?" Bring him back at the room, not knowing who exactly did that.
We need to save him. There was a booby trap on the safe, I think, and I'm gonna wave my hands like I am casting something
Mm-hmm.
and drop my minor illusion
Okay.
and be
Sure.
like, Oh my god. I wasn't sure if that was gonna work. Whew, okay.
Give me a deception check. It's not going to be a super hard one because I feel like this is hard for me to parse. I can only imagine if it was real time. But give me a deception check just for the sake of it.
My deception is +6.
You'll probably pass this. This is going to be not...
Does a 25 pass?
I'm not even going to roll for them. Yeah, so they, having not a lot of reason to specifically doubt you here, they reach down, pull this dude up. Now I have to do that. Okay, that's notable. Pull this dude out of the hole. The other two guards that had fallen down from Iggy's spell kind of get up and cautiously walk over. They no longer, they're freaked out, but do not seem hostile towards you. Seems Hatchet's spell did work fine on them. And with that good 10 seconds of real-time action done, I think everybody is now just kind of staring at each other in shock until someone dares to make a move.
Raj now will go offer his hand and help the man up and act friendly.
You
God
go and
damn.
help these guards pull their boss out of the hole. The hole stays, notably. The hole does not go... No, it's too late to determine that. Okay, the hole stays. The illusion is gone. Yeah, the guy who fell into the hole is actively stunned for a second. He is not saying anything. Two of the other two guards who were successfully charmed, so many things to keep track of, kind of go over from a distance and start looking at the safe. They don't seem magically trained, so you're not sure if they're going to be able to get anything out of it, but if they think the safe was the source of a trap, they're going to go and look at it. What is the party doing in all of this?
I want to take the guy that I'm now charmed, and I'm like, hey, buddy, I truthfully do not know what just happened, but I'm glad you're okay, and I was wondering if you saw anything of note that you might want to share with your good friend, Ratch Hatchet.
Persuasion with advantage because of the charm. I was about to say deception, and then I thought about it for 2 seconds. I was like, no, he really doesn't know what the hell just went down. So sure, give me persuasion with
That is
advantage.
a 19.
That is a 19. Okay. Yeah, this guy kind of takes a second to collect himself. And then I'm actually going to have him do a check here. I think that's fair. Oh, he got a 2. So this check was basically, how collected is he in this moment that he, considering you as an ally or not, how collected is he in this moment that he would be, that he would falter and say secret things out loud in a room with other people. And he rolled a 2. So yeah, I mean, he kind of just goes, it's Valentine's phone. It's fine. I think it's still in the pit. And then he kind of starts scrabbling down to go and get that.
That's okay. That's okay, man.
No, I
can
need
get
that.
it for
That's
you.
important.
I'll get it for you. You recuperate, and I'll go grab it. And then
He thinks you're his friend, not get the secret item. Unless someone stops him, he's going back down into that pit to get that right now.
CL is gonna grab his arm. Let me get a look at this. I studied arachnology, you see, and we need to make sure that that bite wasn't venomous. I couldn't get a very good look at the specimens, but we want to make sure it wasn't poisonous. And try to lead him away.
Give me a... God, I have to figure out who knows what... You know that you were the one that bit him, so that's a deception check.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me a deception check.
I want a
on
deception
that.
check.
I figured... I am in my brain having to parse the actions of 10 separate entities right now.
Yeah.
This is a time and a half.
You're doing amazing.
If I've
Iggy's
learned
been waiting, by the way.
today, I've learned that CL should not try to persuade people. Just lie.
Yeah.
Case proven. That is a 20.
Yeah, he got another 2. You don't even have to finish. So he's kind of like, okay, yeah, check that first. Jake, I see you raising your hand. What you doing?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know you were going to me right
no,
now.
sorry, yeah. I try
yes,
to point at people in
so
the direction of the screen on Twitch, and so I don't always point at people here.
As soon as CL starts to lead him away, turn him from there, I want to use Mold Earth to just close, not fill in the hole,
Close off the
close
top.
just the top of it so that the thing is just in there and nobody can take it at the moment.
Yeah, okay.
So that we can just collect it in a second.
No rolls you need to do for that. The thing is closed. Okay. I think that's all of the players except Pine. Pine, what are you? No, you fixed the illusion. So that is okay. I'm gonna recap where we're at now for the benefit of the audience as much as myself. So where we are at now, CL has taken the commanding officer aside under false pretense of investigating the half-elf bite. I mean spider bite. The two guards that were pulling him out of the hole are now looking at the closed up hole. Would they... We're going to do a check to see if they kind of know... All right, that's a nat 1. That's a 3. Wow, this thing is... It's rolling low, but not in the weighted sense. It's because those are not on the same side of the die. Yeah, so the guards that were looking at the hole are not worried about whatever may have been sealed up in there. Their concern is the guy who is now out, so they're going to go and walk over to CL. Seeing that the hole is now closed, the two guards who were successfully charmed by Hatchet are going to continue looking at the safe now that they can actually move closer. So that is the state of things now. CL, you're with the commanding officer. The other guards are we're just going to say bad guards and good guards. That's not accurate, but for the sake of this being as uncomplicated as it can be. The bad guards are approaching you, CL. The good guards are looking at the safe. Now what are people doing?
I want to go up to where the good guards are and also look at the safe and do an Arcana check to see what I can see.
All right, cool. Give me that Arcana check.
That is a 21.
A 21. Yeah, that is very good. The first thing that you'll notice by doing some sort of an Arcana or magical scan on it, the lock, like the lock is still there. It was not broken. It's obviously been opened, but you can kind of get a sense of the magic on it. It's very, very strong. This is probably not a surprise to anybody, but like this was a very, very, very high security item. Much of the things that are in here are not magical. There is really only one magical item remaining in this. It is in the back section of the safe, and it is a tiny vial of golden liquid.
Let's go!
Good job, everybody. There are notably other things in the safe. There's a lot of papers, documents, some non-magical items in there. But the only things that were in that slid-out back section were, as the guard mentioned, Valentine's phone and the vial.
Cool. I pocket the vial.
Go ahead and give me you're gonna
I'm just gonna these are they're fine. So I'm just gonna go and be like,
they
I need to
view
get
you
this.
as like a friendly acquaintance. If you want to just take something from an investigation scene in front of them, that's at least going to be a roll.
I'm also an
So-
investigator. I'm taking this for evidence.
That is true, but it's going to have to be the question basically being: are you trying to take it stealthily, or are you just taking it and then if they question, you'll like respond to them?
The second one.
Okay, then give me a let's say.
French is not a
persuasion.
stealthy man.
I just want to make sure. Let's say give me a persuasion check.
That's what I was hoping for. Let's go. 19. Oh, 16. Wrong.
16.
Read it wrong.
16.
16.
I will do a check. I'll actually give them disadvantage because of the spell. I keep rolling this off the table today. Neither of them question it. They might, I will say they do definitely know that you have it for what that is worth, but they do not question you taking it. So you have the vial.
All right. My part's done. Someone else go.
Anyone else want to do anything in this moment? Or, CL, I guess actually the question for CL being, how long are you trying to stall this guard? The floor is sealed up now. If you want to try to stall this guy longer, you're going to have to make another roll for it.
Can I ask as a player, has anyone gotten the phone?
It is currently
I'm
contained.
actually going to have to say you're going to have to make a perception check for that.
I can do that. Yeah. Okay, that's
It's not going to be a super hard one, but there's a lot going on.
14.
14. No, you saw the guy reach for it. Nobody else, immediately made a move to go get it, just because no one was close enough, presumably. And then you did see Iggy very quickly, subtly cast a spell closing up the hole. As best you can tell, it is probably still down there.
Okay then. Ciel will try to stall the guard longer, explaining how this species of spiders leave bites that are in an oval shape. Oddly, they
Very
attack as a
big.
group. They attack. No, they
Okay.
attack as a group, and they each leave bites in an ovular shape. He does not mention that it is shaped in the same way that humanoid teeth are. He just calls it an oval.
Okay. Yeah.
To confound.
Similar,
Those
similar to
terrifying
like how
pack
this might
spiders
look.
that happen a lot of the time.
Yeah, they're pack spiders. It's how they mark territory.
Oh.
Wolf spider.
As
Uh,
they leave them.
give me a.
Shall I roll deception?
Yeah, give me a deception. I heard you very subtly say wolf spiders, and I want you to know that did not go unnoticed. And now I'm picturing like an avid. Oh, Mike. Oh no! I saw that head turn.
How's it 10? How's it 10?
We're gonna
for
see. I mean,
deception?
we're gonna insight check it. Not enough. We also are gonna do the guards that are also there. The guards who are the not commanding guards, they're idiots. They're like, oh yeah, pack spiders, scary. But the guard who you are trying to distract specifically, he kind of like shoves you off and goes, I don't care about that. Where's the? He starts tapping the ground, feeling solid ground where the hole definitely was. At this point, he is catching himself before he says any specific names of things. But like, it's very clear that he is looking for something that fell in the hole that no longer exists.
Are you looking for something?
Yeah, I think I dropped my wallet in there, my coin purse or whatever they have in Fantasy Times.
Well, the booby traps in this room are pretty advanced, which is what we were trying to tell you before you rushed in and made that thing possibly get lost forever.
It can't be lost forever. That's not. We'll just get. There's a lot of mages that can do spells for this. Want to use a mage, surely, right? We had that professor a minute ago. We can get her
Yeah,
back
you
in
should.
here.
You could go try and get her. I'm sure she's around.
Give me a persuasion check for him to like leave the room.
That's
You
a nat
know-
20, which is a total of 30.
Jesus. Okay. Yeah. Not really thinking too carefully. Also, still under the effect of your spell, which I should have actually had you make an advantage for. But that's actually, how long does turn person last? I think
One
it's like
person
10 minutes.
lasts for an hour. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, it is an hour. You're right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it is an hour.
definitely still under that spell. Yeah. He very quickly, without really processing, rushes out. He does direct the other guards to stay there, and he goes like, "Watch out! Make sure no one takes my coin wallet." And then he rushes off, presumably to find that professor before she gets too far away.
And I'd like to get close to Pine and whisper, "Hey Pine, can you throw up an illusion so I can open this hole, grab the phone, and then close it back up before anybody notices?"
Absolutely, I can. And I throw up an illusion, not covering the, what do you call it? The whole area, but like the area in front of it.
Yeah.
And it looks like Iggy is just standing there, looking cool as hell, like
Okay.
somebody who could baseball bat a fireball around.
It's like those, like when they make movies, they're just the wall.
Yeah.
And it
Now
falls.
And then I'm assuming you're stone shaping again to just reach and get the thing and then come back up.
Yeah.
This
Cantrip.
raises a really interesting question. Go ahead.
Actually, Matt. So what I would do is I would open the hole, and then I would mold the earth from the bottom of the hole up so that there's no longer a hole, and presumably anything that
Okay.
was in the hole would rise with it to
Yeah.
be level with the ground now, or I could just pick it up.
Yeah, okay, cool. Very smart. This does raise a question that I don't think I'm going to try to research now because it would take too long. It's not super relevant at this point, but to the cast and to anyone in the audience, would mold earth make noise? I can imagine in my head the sound that it would make, but like I also, again, for purposes of this, I'm not going to worry about it because we don't need more layers of complication on this, but that is an interesting question. Yeah, you are able to successfully do that. I won't make you roll anything for it. Once you're out, Pine can drop the illusion, etc., etc.
Pocket the phone.
All right, cool. You pocket
Oh.
the phone.
And illusion drops.
Illusion drops. It will take a couple minutes for this guy to go and get that professor. Supposedly, you can do anything. As I often do, I'll throw to you guys if you want to do anything in that time. The other 4 guards are still there. The charm spell is not wearing out anytime soon, so that is good. 2 of them are still charmed. You can wait. You could leave if you wanted to do that. Ball's in your court.
Honestly,
I roll stealth.
Are you trying to get out of the... Yeah, go for it.
I mean, not necessarily to leave, but to be
Oh.
obscured where nobody could see me, to where then I could.
Yeah, you can do that. I will say, despite this being like a stone building, it is decorated, so I'm not going to give you your special advantage thing for it, but you can roll stealth to just have that established. I'll go ahead and roll for the guards.
$15.
15. Okay. If you have been spotted by the guards, you are not aware of it at the very least. You are currently hidden somewhere in the room.
Does that mean from? Sorry. Does that mean from us as well?
I will leave that in Jake's discretion. If he does want to be hidden from you, then you guys are also going to have to make perception checks, but I'll leave that to him.
Not necessarily, no.
Okay.
Okay. I'm good to leave.
Do we? Iggy has the phone, right?
Yeah. Iggy has the phone. I have the bits. We can go before he gets back.
Oh, yes. Let's do that first.
Would say, all right, guards, we're gonna get out of here. When your head guy comes back to get his wallet, make sure he knows that no one messed with that general area over there, because God knows there could be more booby traps or things. But if he wants to go back, that's on him.
Okay.
Keep guard in this room, and we'll be fine. And yeah.
As is the final DM test for this section, 2 of the guards are still charmed. I will go ahead and say that they will let you leave. Now I have to think back over the last half hour, probably not that long, but whatever, to determine whether there is enough suspicion cast on you guys that these other 2 guards would try to stop you from leaving.
I'm their
And
boss.
no, well, here's the thing. Amazingly, against all odds, I do think the answer somehow is no. I think that through, I'll call it a combination of luck and skill, you guys actually did cover your tracks with enough chaos and thought out strategy that
Wait.
yeah.
Quick recap of the guards, or just a general guard perspective of this, is Pine shows up. Well, a werewolf attacks. Pine comes back, says, I'm in charge of all of you. Executes a person in the middle of the room. Goes up to a high-ranking official's office. Commotion occurs. A guard comes running out of there. We all leave.
What might as well has happened is someone goes, I'll create a diversion in the room by rolling a man tied to a wheel. And someone completely separately decides, I'll create a diversion by throwing knives. And no one gets a cut.
Yeah, Mike, great. Nailed it. Perfect analogy for what just happened. So yeah, you guys all leave, clamoring over the messed up floor from like the first thing that Iggy did, which was causing the floor to be difficult terrain. Where this has got to be at least roughly where we end this episode. I don't think there's any other place where we can.
We gotta get to the shepherd boss battle. We gotta jump out from the roof and attack us.
More for my notes so that I can plan. Where are you guys going next?
Ratchet's new office. No.
I assume my office is still out of commission, so I send him back to Iggy's.
I mean, there's a hole in it. It's not out of commission. That you can
It was out of
go
commission
there.
when I wanted to stay there last time, so gotta stay consistent.
Piggies?
All right, yeah. And with the weirdest day in the royalties' history in a good couple of centuries, you all shockingly unscathed.
4 people walked into this castle and then just left. And
Yeah,
in ruins.
the guard
Completely
the
Alright,
guard
Shepard's
that
the
let
one.
you in earlier in this singular day kind of casually waves you like, "Have a nice day."
I'm your boss now.
And with that,
Your boss now.
we will end what I do truly
Oh
think
my
is
God.
one of the most insane D&D sessions I have ever DM'd in my 9 years of DMing, something like that. Congratulations, everybody. That was insane and yet worked out really goddamn well for you. So good job all around.
Oh.
My like 20+ years of playing D&D, I've never had a session
That
like this.
was
I
insane
loved
start to
it.
finish. Oh, this was a great one. And I'm so glad I
And-
have like a month to figure out the consequences of all of these things. If you weren't here at the beginning, we'll go over the scheduling again in a second.
This is
but
you gotta put in like an unnecessary time skip in universe. Like we pick up 20 years later.
20 years later,
And
this has
if-
butterfly affected. Everyone is dead.
And Pine is queen. No.
If
I mean, that's how things are going.
If you also need at least 30 minutes of decompressing over what just happened, you can find that over on our Patreon.
Oh my
If you
God.
subscribe, you will find Backspace, the after show with a name, where we will discuss all of the shit that happened in the episode. I'm going to talk about how CL faced a moral conundrum, and that happened like 3 hours and 2 lifetimes ago. So if you don't even remember what that
Yeah.
was, maybe tune into the after the show.
CL
Don't
started this
remember what that
episode
was.
getting
Was the moral
kidnapped and
conundrum to bite or not to bite?
No, that was a very simple and easy
That was-
choice.
That was, to be fair, very immediate. He did not think
Yeah.
about that very hard at all.
Someone
It
said,
was just a bite.
I
won't
okay.
talk about a revelation I had after the fact, but that was an easy choice.
We do need to talk about scheduling stuff because it is different. I should note, I think that the end card actually is slightly wrong. I'll fix it like once we go to the end card. But next week, we are off because Jake has an appearance that he is doing because he's a professional sandwich man. I will, let everybody plug their stuff once we're done with that, so you can hear about those things that he's doing. But next week we are off. There is no episode of D&Dorks at all. Sad, I know, but it will be made up for by the fact that during this 2-week gap, I'm going to be setting up my PC. Finally, if you've been following the saga of me trying to get a PC, you know what a road it's been. But it's in my living room. I have it in hand. Finally, so that's going to be great. We will have some more professional stuff the next time you see us. The next time you see us will be on, let me pull up my calendar so I can be sure to give the right information, March 29th. We will be doing a one-shot episode. Technically, like, the scheduling for that is not 100% determined. I'm also not going to announce what I think it's going to be. I do think I have that in the works, and if it is, it's going to be cool, but that's not finalized yet, so you will hear about that later. April 5th is a flex week, again, because of convention stuff. We will announce what that is going to be. I will go ahead and tentatively say there will probably be an episode of something. That could change, but there will likely be some episode of D&Dorks that day. And then Minor Infractions, which has now crossed the halfway point, and what a halfway point it was, will return on April 12th. I think that's all of our scheduling stuff. We already plugged the Patreon, so that's good. As usual, go around. Anyone has anything that they want to plug? Jake, I know specifically does have stuff. So let's start with you.
Okay. So so next weekend, not tomorrow, but next weekend, I am going to be in Indianapolis on Friday night, randomly wandering around Indiana Comic Con, and on Saturday all day at Elf and Moon Game Store for their grand opening, doing live D&D, doing live Roll for Sandwich, and just generally hanging out and meeting and talking to people. So that's awesome. If you live in Indianapolis, come see me. The next week, April 3rd, it's a Wednesday, I will be at Revolution Brewing in Chicago doing a live Roll for Sandwich and meeting people. So if you live in Chicago or nearby, come see me. And then the following Friday through Sunday, which is around April 5th, 6th, 7th, or something like that, I will be at Midwest Gaming Classic convention in Milwaukee doing live stuff like that. So come say hi if you live in Milwaukee or nearby. It'd be awesome to see you. And Also, very quickly, recently on my show, I had to make a sandwich into a sort of homunculus type being and give it the best life that I could before ultimately still eating it.
I haven't seen
And
the episode, but I
made-
saw the Mabim Bam table where they put that on.
Yes. I made stickers to commemorate it, and they are available on my website.
Is that
if
why
anybody
people
would
were
like.
saying "Rip Tom" in the chat? I saw that happening,
Yes.
and I was like, "What does
Yes.
that mean?" They're saying it to Jake specifically, but I wasn't going to interrupt the flow and ask.
Yes.
Okay,
This is Tom.
It's
So.
one of the best TikToks I've seen in a
I
long
will
time.
go and I will watch it tonight.
It's a
I-
journey.
So I'll tell you this, Matt. I specifically commissioned music for the episode.
Oh, good,
Oh, wow.
good,
Wow.
very
It
good.
goes deep.
I will go and watch
It goes
it
deep.
right after the after show.
Episode 256.
Sweet. Okay, anybody else? Nikhil, I'm sure you want to talk about your Instagram.
I do. My Instagram's growing. It's crazy.
Hey!
For the first time in 3 years, it's
That's
gone up.
wild. That's wild.
We
So everyone
got-
can stop following it. That's great.
Oh, keep going. We are so close to 10K. I'm so excited. Also, I want to plug, it's not mine at all, but if anyone is near somewhere that's showing hundreds of beavers, it's an amazing movie. Go watch
I
it.
saw your video on it, and now I want to see if there's.
It's-
I'm sure there's something in Dallas. There's no way
Matt,
there's
you
not.
would love it.
There's no
you
way there's not
described
showing
things
in the
in
Dallas area.
they described like some of the stuff you described in the show happens in this movie.
Oh,
It's
neat.
Wow.
astounding.
I will go.
Everyone,
and
look up
I'll
if
do it now.
Hundreds of Beavers is playing near you, and if it is, watch it. I have no financial ties to this film. I will not be supported in any way, but it's important to me that it does well.
I opened the website and a pop-up showed up that said "Join the Beaverati." I just think everybody should know that that's what happens when you go to
Join the
website.
Beaverati. I went to the LA premiere, which was a hilarious concept because the movie came out 2 years ago, and I went to it, and the director was there, and they wrestled a beaver. It was, guys, I love it so much.
It actually doesn't look like there are any showings in Dallas, which sucks. But
That
I'll
does
look.
suck.
I'll look more later. Anyway, Mike, Jess, do you have anything?
Yeah, I'm on TikTok and Instagram as usual. Pirate Princess Jess on TikTok. Pirate Princess Jessica. Pirate Princess Jessica on Instagram. I'm getting parts to build like an arcade DDR setup. I'm gonna be making videos about that.
That is
So if you like arcade
Ooh.
stuff, you should follow me and see arcade stuff. I also post random bullshit.
That's the best kind.
excellent.
I will also hopefully be posting random bullshit at some point in the next 2 weeks. I swear to God, I will on my YouTube or my TikTok at Mike Funny Boy. And I'll also reiterate the Patreon plug. I can feel in my bones that this will be a fun eepisode of Backstage. So what better time to jump in if you feel so inclined?
I'm sure I'm gonna I'm gonna have a dramatic realization that I messed something up. There's no way I did that flawlessly, but you'll get to find out in the after show. And as a final note, I do have to point out something that somebody said in chat, which is a very simple message, but maybe one of the truest things that has ever been said, which is that next time's recap is going to be ridiculous. It's not for like a month.
Yeah, especially a month
Yeah,
later.
it's not for a month. So
That's why you gotta just
somebody
skip ahead.
gear
That's
up.
what I'm telling you. We
Somebody-
gotta go 10 years later. What's happened? Pine has been ruling. We've been around.
And you'll get to see
TL,
In
how
a
many
month.
existential questions can he have in 10 years? These are the
Steamboat
questions
Willie is
we can
here.
answer.
All right, but I have a month to figure that out. You guys have to wait a month. Sorry about that, but there will be things in the meantime. So we hope you all enjoyed. Have a great rest of your night and your weekend and your next 2 weeks. We will see you all later. Thank you for watching. I need sleep so bad.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.